Hi everybody, this is Christine Bertram and I am coming to you live from the Hive here in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. I just realized I have my Drexel shirt on, you guys. It's purple. That's what I was going for. So I didn't even look to see what it said on it. But Drexel is a local builder, building supply company here in the area. And they are who we ordered all of the material. So how suiting it is that here I'm supporting local builders and promoting them. They are the ones who supplied all of the wood and a lot of the drywall, the materials for the building expansion that we did up here. I am currently in the mini hive. I don't know if you guys can tell by the different ambiance behind me. I haven't been up here doing a live in a little while. I know Kelly's been up here doing some kit classes and some paper pumpkins, and I think Gina went back downstairs, and then I've been back and forth, but not up here very much. So, but the technology's been going back and forth. So, but yay! Oh, it's Friday, you guys. I feel like we were just all gathered together last night, and it feels like a little bit like deja vu. So we have the Stampin' Stack class today. We're going to be making the six. Oh, I just lost the butterfly flew off. I'm going to be making the 6 Stampin' Stack cards. Ooh, I'm live. Hang on. I'm watching on my phone, and it just caught up with us. So we're going to be doing the Stampin' Stack, and I keep saying it's a Stampin' Stack on steroids because there's actually 22 card kits, and that's what people got in their kits, and they're all fun folds. Diane did this class during the horrible weather that we had here last Thursday when I was off gallivanting in Florida with Kelly. Diane was here. So Julie Bierschbach had class here Wednesday night, and then Diane had this class on Thursday night, and then I think Gina was even in here over the weekend. So the hive was still hopping even though I was gone, which was awesome. My neighbors, I was talking to my neighbor last night. She's like, well, I saw so-and-so while you're gone, and I saw so-and-so, and she knows some of the people too. So it's great that I said it keeps the riffraff out of the area, right? All my wholesome ladies come in, and there's no shenanigans that happen around here. So even when I was gone, good things were happening. So hello, Sherry Martin and Julie Damaris. Hi, Linda and Doris and Susan. Hi, Julie Bontranger, and there's Mimi. Okay, so both Julie and Mimi. When I got up into my email last night at like about midnight, I think it was, I did reply back to you guys that you could sign up for the Beekeeper's Guide if you want. I made sure, Mimi, you were already in the list because I think I had manually added you because I was in it when you told me you wanted it, so I just put you in. But you're welcome to fill out the official registration form, and I can always delete out the one that I put in. But Julie, I sent it to you. Hello, Randy and Hope. Hi, Connie. Connie, hello, Annette. You're on camera. You want to say hi?
Hi.
What can I help you with?
I need that die.
You need that die. Okay. Yep, you definitely need that die. That is a not gonna work die, or die cut. So you'll find. Oh, I hope I have them. They should be. Oh no, no. I have. No.
Okay.
Okay, wait. One more. Nope. All 4 of them are gone.
Okay.
So you have to mark it. Yep, mark it. We'll come back and add it. Sandy picked those dies up yesterday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's die cutting some. Ooh, watch out, kitten. Oh my gosh, you guys. So I'm like in a booster seat here. So that I'm higher. Oh, so you get hunky tail here. All right. So we're prepping cards today. Annette and Sharon are here. We are prepping 2 more of the Paper Palooza cards, and we have some Stampin' Fun the Sun stuff we're laying out. So all's good, all's good. We also have here, so I had Connie, I was just starting to tell you that your package left yesterday. You have a nice little box. You won a raffle prize from the MS benefit, so that's in there. And then you have your In Color Club for the month of May and your classes. So you can be looking for that, Connie. Hello, Laura Sullivan. Hi, Cindy Nicolosi. Hello, Mary and Kari. Hi, Donna. And you watched the replay last night and heard you want a card? Yes. And Kari, I'll make sure that I put that card in your next package. I've gotten some mail back to me that's been eaten, and so I've decided if I can, I'm just going to put those cards in with your packages. I liked mailing them separately because it's always nice getting happy mail that isn't a bill, but I'd rather not have them get eaten by anybody. Hello, Joy Moody. Hi, Mary Schreiber. And hello, Sherry Everett. I feel like I said that already, but no, I didn't. I'm distracted by a kitten. Can you guys tell? Hi, Donna Grushke. And hi, Karen Wetstein. Karen did a good job, you guys. She is our proofreading queen. She helped proofread a bunch of tutorials this week. I was able to email this tutorial out, and she actually had proofread this one, and this one was my fault that it ended up being last night. I emailed it out. Well, I staged it last night, you guys. I learned how to schedule, I learned how to schedule emails. And so I was working in my emails last night, got this PDF prepared, and I scheduled it for 6 a.m., you guys. So I was not up at 6 a.m. Trust me. This one's sleeping at 6, but I scheduled it. But Karen does a good job proofreading, you guys, so we don't have mistakes in them. And Donna didn't get the notification again. I wonder what's happening. I wonder if you unsubscribe, Donna, and then resubscribe, if it'll trigger it back to set up the notifications. Hello, Feline Mays. Hi, Sandy Coy Emery. There's Laura Fitzgerald. Yay. Hi, Deanne Dawn. Hi, Jennifer Jones. And there's Karen Woods. Hi, Jean. And you didn't let me know the extra postage is for the basket raffle. So, Connie, I'll figure it out. I don't think it was a lot more than what it was. So I'll have to go back and look how much it charged me for the pirate ship. And if it's within how much you spent on postage, I'm not going to even worry about it, okay? So at the moment, don't worry about it, okay? Hi, Bridget Rowe. Hi, Laura. Oh, and there we go. All right. Feline's on vacation, you guys. Give her an excited remark, because this girl never gets vacation. So it's very exciting to have her live with you watching. All right. So you guys can see I've been swarmed with kittens. That is how it's going to go right now. Honey is downstairs keeping an eye on the girls. And, oh, man, okay. I thought about this. I'm coming in hot. I designed these cards with Diane Bogenhagen probably, the thinking cap is on. But what month we're in? May. We designed these sometime in the middle of April. And I know we kitted them that end of April, first week of May. And I was telling Annette, I'm like, I need to do some homework and like research the card. She's like, nah, it's like riding a bike. You'll be just fine. And so they're fun folds, and there's lots of cutting, and we're going to just roll right through with it, you guys. We're going to be great. My goal for us today, there are 22 cards. There's no way that I know right now that I'm going to be live with you to make all 22 cards. For this class, my goal for you, and this is what Diane did for in-person, the goal is to get everything organized and situated so that it sets you up for success with finishing your cards. My goal is to walk through the packet with you, which I have mine here. The goal is to walk through this packet, get all the designer series paper cut, and get everything staged, and then make one of each of the cards so that you guys can go back later, hopefully soon, sooner rather than later, but get back and make the 22 cards. We set you up for success. Don't be chewing on my stuff. He's chewing on a nail file. Sharpening those teeth. We're going to set you up for success so that you can get these cards made at your leisure. And the great thing about the replay is that you can catch it anytime. And if you need to watch anything again, you could always rewind and repeat after the first version of it's done. Okay, so we're going to go through roll call. And we kitted up, I believe we kitted 60 of this class. Yes. And Diane had 5 people in person, and that leaves me with 55, and I have 3 open spots. So at this moment, if anybody is interested in getting one of my last full sets, I don't have any Be Happy Stamper Team pricing left. I have 3 full sets available, and this class was $65 plus shipping. If you want it added to a Stampin' Fun in the Sun box, or if you want it added to a different class, anything in June, we could always consolidate shipping. So I am saying very leerily that there may be 3 left. I didn't have time. You guys probably know I did my live last night. I talked about this. We've been busy working on things. How I work in my email is I have to devote my time, and I have to carve out hours. I can pick at an email here or respond to an email here, do an email here, everywhere an email. Oh, oh, McDonald had a farm, right? Yeah. But I pick away at my emails a bit at a time. When it comes to the easy emails like that, I can just say like, Julie, here's the link to the Beekeeper's Guide. Mimi, here's a link to the those kind of things. Thanks for your order. Like those kind of emails I can read really easily. But when it comes to processing payments, responding, I've got you signed up for this event, and where it actually is a meat and potatoes of the class sign up, I have to be in my computer and I have to be devoted for a few hours because I get so easily like working on so many things at the same time, and I have to devote like 3 to 4 hours, and I did not have like a 3 or 4 or 5 hour window to sit and knock out emails. I think the last time I did was 2 days before I left for the trip, and I sat at the computer from like 10 p.m. until 6 a.m. and I got caught up a lot. That's what I need to do over the weekend. At one point I have to carve out some hours. So everybody who's waiting for something that is a more substantial response on something, that's what's going on. I carve out time, but I think most of you who are not newer to me know that's kind of how I operate. So never a rush, okay? And never feel bad if you're like, oh man, I gotta pay you. Don't worry about it. Until I say how much to send, don't worry about it. If I'm not in a rush, then you shouldn't either. So it always works out together. So for our class list then, what I'm getting at is there are 3 that are open spots, but I do need to get through my emails to see if anybody else registered and paid for this class before I can offer it up to anybody else. So if you want to get your name on the wait list, like let's say that I get through my emails and there's only 1 that's accounted for, I could potentially have 2 left. So it doesn't hurt to request and ask. And I also need to canoodle with Carissa, who helps me manage the CBC enroll at gmail.com, to see if she's got anybody who's pending for the class. Okay. All right. So first on our list, Sandy Coy Emery signed up as soon as she heard that there was going to be another Stampus Act. She was right on it. So she is first to the line here. Then we have Angelique McClendon, Trisha Fagley, Donna Grushke, Linda Scott, Brenda Cottrell, Susie Fentlater, Debbie Stone, Gwen Petrashek, Feline Mays, Mary Jo Stoll, Leslie McMinn, Kathy Showalter, Kelly Gibson, Laura Sullivan, Karen Woods, Cheryl Gardner, Bridget Rowe, Julie Bontringer, Doris Munson, Michelle Foran, Mary Lemke, Susan Bellamy, Mary Novak, Karen Wetstein, Joanne Naples, Jeannie Parker, Sherry Everett, Barbara Godby, Maria Gilbertson, Rose Garibaldi, Sarah Merchant, Becky Gandolfo, Stacy Tan, Mary Carls, Carrie White, Alina Rayleck, Pauline Driscoll, Debbie Gast, Hope Toy, Lori Kaiser, Cindy Nicolosi, Sue Spigner, Patty Wright, Margene Eskelson, Julie Damaris, excuse me, Carmen Sanders, and Julie Block. So thank you to all of you for taking this class with me. It's your support that helps me keep doing the YouTube lives. When I have people who take my classes and pay for them, that helps to keep the momentum going, keep doing classes. If I didn't have that and I wasn't running this as a business to go live, it's a lot of work to go live. So those people, by taking this class, I'm doing this YouTube live for them. But what happens is I publish it for everybody to watch. So you might have your own supplies at home that you'd like to do to create along with me. No problem, you guys. There's never a charge. People sometimes ask how much do I charge for my YouTube videos. I do every one of my classes on my open YouTube channel that anybody can watch it. And what happens is I do sell a PDF tutorial for this class. So if you would like to press the easier button and not have to figure out all your own measurements and have a written guide of how to make the cards, you could definitely reach out to me and I would be willing and able to sell the PDF tutorial to you. And that always helps. So that's another option too. I do have a Facebook page where I publish when I go live. And in there's a link to it that says you can purchase this PDF tutorial on my website by following this link. Just so you guys know, some of you that are newer to me, I have an online PDF store and it ran out of space. Like February 27th, it ran out of space. And I have an old, outdated, from technology standpoint, my website is outdated. So I can't just go and add more space to it without redoing my entire website. So I figured out a Band-Aid to put on this problem. I created an event that is always going to be the first day of the month. So right now we're in May. So if you go to May 1st, every PDF tutorial that we've created after February 28th and after is in that event. And if you purchase it via my website, you'll get charged on your credit card. You pay a convenience fee of like $1 or something like that. And if you don't ever want the convenience fee, just work with me outside of my system. And you can send money via Zelle, Cash App, Venmo, all that stuff, right? Outside of the system, you save the convenience fee. But what happens then is you'll get the email from me directly. So I've created a Band-Aid, which creates a little more work for me, but it's all right. I can handle it. So if anybody wants to get this tutorial, I would email it to you separately outside of my system is how that works for this. Okay. Hi, Sherry Ott. So, oh yes, don't forget the thumbs up. I greatly appreciate the thumbs up. Is the July memory more the memory member of this moment? Now that you ask about that, I was just thinking about that the other day, Sandy. I did a YouTube live probably a month ago, and I asked for some feedback. And I think the feedback was about mixed reviews. Half of the people wanted that and half of the people didn't. And I was going to wait to see if the annual catalog had other product for the Memories and More that I would like to work with more. And, oh, there's a birthday set in there. I have to investigate that a little bit more. I honestly don't know. I have to feel the love on that one, and I don't feel much love in that Share This Moment. I do, like it's a little bit, but not a lot. And I have to just carve out the time to figure out, is it going to be that or something else? Hi, Sue Deppis. So hold the phone on that one, okay? I can't answer that. I don't know exactly yet. And I had a phone call, so I missed most of the explanation of payments. I'll watch the replay and email you. Okay. Oh, yeah, sounds good, Mimi. Mimi, I did send you an email. And the email had the amount to send to my printer, like to send, like for the printing of the Beekeeper's Guide that I send to my printer, right? I'm just a facilitator. So if you check that email, I think I asked, is there anything else you had that you signed up for besides botanical textures last night? Because if there's other things that you have, the shipping will change, right? So I think if you just reply to the email, you might not have to watch the video again. You just check for your email. Okay. Oh, you guys, can you tell I procrastinate a little bit a lot when when I can? All right. So the other thing I did share last night was the Paper Palooza cards. I don't think I'm going to share them again today because if you go to last night's video that I did of the botanical textures, I showed off all these cards, which this is double the amount, like double McGum. And then this is the other part, right? So 21 cards are what the Paper Palooza is going to be. And I showed them off all one by one last night towards the beginning of the live. I'd have to say within the first half hour. And I've had a few more people sign up for Paper Palooza, which is awesome. I looked at my records. I think I have 26 spots left after the 2 that signed up last night. So little by little, as I show those cards off more, I think they'll eventually go. And if you can always refer back to the video. I don't want to take time now to show them off as much as I want to. As much as I want to. We need to get started with class. We really do. So for those of you who did this class with me, there were 2 pricing options. One was the Be Happy Stamper team pricing. And one was the non-Be Happy Stamper team pricing. The Be Happy Stamper team pricing looks like this. You get everything cut, embossed, anything that could be die cut is die cut. Anything that is cardstock related is in here. And this it says Bloom Impressions, and it's a stamp stack. Today's date is 5/23. So everything's in here. And what we're going to do is we're going to go through everything in a moment. But the Be Happy Stamper pricing included the cardstock. And the non-team pricing for the $65, you got this. Plus you got the 22 envelopes. That'll be on the back side here. And you got, and I forgot them downstairs, the butterflies. All these, you got a whole thing of the butterfly embellishments, which a lot of them will get used up, I think, in the cards. And then you got the roll of white ribbon. And my goal for me today is to use up some of my like rolls that have just a little bit left. So you got 1 roll of white ribbon. And then there is some designer series paper with this one. All right. This was a sale-a-bration item from January and February called Bloom Impressions. What I do during sale-a-bration is I get sale-a-bration items just like you do. And I choose one item that I get a lot of. that every time I could get a sale-a-bration item, I pick the same thing. And then what I do is choose to do a class with that. And now this is what this is. This is the Stamp-a-Stack class featuring sale-a-bration product. And I wasn't sure how many we were going to need. And so I have a bigger team than ever before. And that's an amazing thing. So thank you to everybody for joining my team that has joined my team. And what happens when I have a bigger team is more people take advantage of the team pricing. So I would have to say out of that roll call, out of 55 people, I think 25 of them might have done team pricing. And when they did team pricing, that meant I didn't necessarily need the extra pack of paper. So what I decided to do is pay it forward to those who paid for the class. And if you had signed up for this class by whatever day before we kitted, you got an extra pack of designer series paper. So if you're wondering why you got 2 packs of paper in your kit, it's because of that reason. If you didn't, that's okay. You still got what you paid for. You're still gonna get a pack of the designer series paper. It's just that I only have enough left to accommodate. I think I have 4 packs left, which was this one, and 1 for each of the ones that are left yet, okay? So for those of you who got 2, you could, in essence, go forward and make 22 more cards because we do use up almost this entire pack of designer series paper making these cards. And that's what we're going to go through is cutting that right now. So I need to see who else. Hi, France Eldridge. Trust me, the Palooza cards are beautiful. Good. Thanks, Julie. I appreciate that. So we're going to go through and we're going to cut designer series paper. I think I'm going to pull up my PDF tutorial on my computer. I have a couple old cell phones that I use for watching comments, so I pulled in my new cell phone for the comments. And hello, Marianne, watching while headed to Indiana for grandson's graduation. Yay! It's that time of year. Graduation parties galore. I'm going to flip my tab. Oops, sorry, Hunky. I didn't mean to scare you, buddy. I'm going to flip my computer around and see if I can pull up the tutorial, because I think that will help me with, whoops, all right. That will help me with the measurements and going through the ordering with you guys. So let me just get to my tutorial. Under classes, Bloom Impressions, PDF tutorial. All right. So the tutorial was emailed out to everybody this morning. I think I scheduled it for 6 o'clock. You guys, when I send a tutorial out, it looks like, I don't know if you can even see that. It's a Word document, basically, but I convert it to PDF. So you guys are opening up a PDF. It has all the measurements, instructions on there, and it looks like card 1 is going to be the butterfly card there. And I have that. Jolene helped me order the PDF tutorial in the order that your stuff is kitted here. So I'm going to shut this a little bit. Hunky is gone now. And I've got quite the glare coming in. Okay. Love that I'm getting to see this class. Yay! Okay. And then thanks for answering that, Debbie. I appreciate it. The white ribbon. Perfect. I appreciate that assist there. Okay. In this kit, ID wed. No. So I gotta get my markers out of the way. We're gonna pull, you guys, do not pull this out and have it be vertical. You definitely, when you take this out of the cellophane, you want to pull it out and keep everything horizontal. You are going to be the happiest person if all of your pieces stay lined up like this, okay? That's first and foremost. Keep your pile intact, all right? So that first card in your tutorial is the butterfly card that looks like this. So you're probably wondering, oh my gosh, wow, somebody had to cut 4 times 60, 240 of these. Yes. I saw the time and hoped you were awake, right? Oh, I know exactly. Karen Woods, I probably confused people because I have sent emails at 6 a.m. I have, and that's me. But I'm like, no, I'll just schedule it for 6 a.m. So this butterfly, if you guys did ink, paper, scissors, beautiful bokeh with me, there was a shaker card in there. This was the inside piece that got cut out of the shaker card. That card was featured for the Winter Creative Escape and ink, paper, scissors. So all in all, Rhonda only had to make about 30 more butterflies, I think, which was awesome for her. So this is the first card we're going to look at. And if you guys take this pile right here, where these are the barrier or the divider, this all goes for this card right here. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna work and set like this off to the side. So I'm gonna keep it all in order. And then I'm gonna just set this pile here so that we're like that. Now this one uses this pattern paper. So this card opens like this and like this. So in essence, this is a half a sheet of designer paper and we're making 4 cards. All right, so that's why we use up a lot of this designer paper. And we wanna make sure we grab the right print out of here. It's this one right here. All right, so these, you're gonna have to grab these 2 pieces out and leave this off to the side. All right, and we wanna make sure that there is a direction to this pattern. There are little plants in here, okay? So you're gonna want to make sure you cut this correctly and score it correctly. So with this, the designer series paper is 5 1/8 tall by 11 3/4. Okay, so 5 1/8 tall means I need to take my paper this way so that it's actually going horizontal, and we're gonna cut it at 5 1/8. Well, here's, not to confuse you, but I know that the paper is 11 3/4 wide. So to save one cut, I could technically, let me just do it, because it's a little trick. I could technically cut the 11 3/4 first, because then I'm only cutting that one time. So I'm gonna go over to 11 3/4, like that, and I'm gonna cut off 1/4 inch. Okay, so now I just have one piece, and you could use that on an inside if you wanted. Okay, so that's a scrap for now. Now I'm gonna flip it back and do 5 1/8, right there, and 5 1/8. Now, I like to keep the factory edge of papers, as long as like the corners aren't dented in. I like to keep the factory edge. For some reason, I've always done that. It just seems like it should be always straighter than what I cut, as long as the factory cut it correctly. So this is a scrap, you guys, okay? So I'm gonna just put that on my scrap pile. So that's 2 of them, all right? Then what happens is it gets scored at 2, 4, 6, and 8. So I'm gonna do it one way. Off to the side here, I'm gonna get my scoreboard really quick. I'm gonna do this sheet different, okay? But for now, I'm gonna show you how you can do this. Let me grab my scoreboard. All right, so let's pull this in here. And they get scored at, I believe I said 2, 4, 6, and 8. Okay, so let's do this. And so this is the inside. So I've got this facing right. So I've got 2, 4, 6, and 8. Okay, but now I have to do this one, because remember we're making 4 cards. 2, 4, 6, and 8. Okay, so that's for 2 of them. Now let's talk about this sheet. We have a full sheet again, and we need 2 more out of it. But because I had cut these apart, I had to score 2 different times. So I had to pick up the paper 2 different times. Knowing that now, I could do this whole sheet at one time. So if you put this over the top, it was 2, 4, 6, and 8. I could, in essence, I like to save time and be efficient, I could do 2, 4, 6, and 8. Now, if I was thinking a little bit ahead of myself, I would have cut my edges off first, but because then I wouldn't have ended up with some score lines down at the bottom here, but it's okay, it's okay. I'm gonna cut a 1/4 inch off, right? So I'm gonna cut this little 1/4 inch off, same thing. So 11 and 12 minus a 1/4 is 11 3/4, so that's cutting my 1/4 inch off the end here, right? That little strip, and now 5 1/8. So I guess what I was getting at is I should have cut it at 10 1/4 to get that bottom part off before I scored it. I'm getting the same results, except for I ended up with score lines on the bottom because I didn't cut this off first. But honestly, no one can even see those score lines. So I was just trying to show you guys a way of touching your cutter or embosser one less time. Okay, so let's move this out of the way. And look at this. So we have 4 pieces of designer paper that we've now cut, right? And they go with this card right here. Okay, so my goal is with you guys, let's get the designer paper cut, and then we're gonna come back and assemble one of each of the cards, right? So I'm gonna put this off to the side, and we're gonna grab the next one from the pile. All right, so the next one that's on my pile, if you pull this pile back, right here, is this purple card right here, okay? So when you're in the pile, you wanna grab from this blackberry up, okay? So there, and then we're gonna bring the cutter back in. I've got like way too much stuff for what I have my little space here. This uses that blackberry flowery paper, okay? So what you can do is grab this one out, and it's gonna be the second one down here. It's that guy, is what we're gonna use for this next card. And the same thing happens with this. We're gonna be utilizing almost both sheets of paper to make the fold. So for this one, our DSP is 12 inches wide by 5 1/4 tall. And it's scored at 4 1/8. So knowing that, I'm gonna use, let's see here, it's 5 1/4 tall. So now I'm gonna try to do what I was trying to show you just before, without trying to confuse you. So I know I need 12 inches this way, and I need 5 1/4 this way, and 5 1/4 this way. 5 1/4 and 5 1/4 is 10 1/2. And there's no direction to this paper. So 12 minus 10 1/2 is 1 1/2. So I could take 1 1/2 off right now and not score that. This is a scrap, all right? A scrap, so put that off to the side. And now I'm gonna take my second one. Again, I'm cutting off 1 1/2 inch from here, because this is not needed. All right, so we're gonna bring the scoring tool in here now, because we're gonna score these together at the same time. And with this one, I want this to go like this and like this, okay? So I'm gonna score it with the dark purpley side up. And I said that we need to score it at 4 1/8. Hello, Nancy Sue Valencia. So we're gonna do 4 1/8, okay? And then, because you're doing 4 of this card, 4 1/8. All right, so that's it for scoring. Move this off to the side, and now we have to do the cutting. The cuts are easy now, because we just need to cut at 5 1/4, because we currently have 10 1/2. So by cutting this at 5 1/4, we're basically cutting it in half, right? And it's already scored, so now these two are done. And then with my scores going this way, I'm gonna cut this at 5 1/4. And that gives me the 4 designer paper mats for this card, right? So there's more cutting to do, and I think we should do it right now because it's part of prepping. What happens is this scored goes in like this, and then this one goes in like that. But we need to cut off the corners here. And in the PDF tutorial, you guys, Jolene did a great job. She put a little diagram in there of how we made our little diagram here, and she took that and she put it into the tutorial. So what we need to do is we need to cut from each of these score lines down to the corners. So we might as well do that and get that done. Just messaged you that I would like to purchase the remaining Bloom Impressions Stampa stack. Okay, so Sandy Coy Emery, deal. I have to get through my emails, and once I can confirm how many I have left, if there are any left, I will reach out to you because I didn't see anybody else that commented in the actual video. So then for all intents and purposes, you guys, I don't have anything left of this class. Okay. Yeah, all right. So, okay. Thanks for that, Sandy. I'll remember that. You can also send me a note too. So I'm going to go from the score line to the peaky here. So I'm going to put the score line right where my blade is going to go, and it's going to go down like that. Okay. And I don't like to jam up the corner with my blade. So I'm actually either going to start from this side, or I would start part way up from the corner. So sometimes your blade, if it's not sharp, it will catch the corner. So we're going to cut this side off. Now you guys can make this into something pretty. So this is a little scrap. Now this one, same thing. Grabbing from that score line, I pivot off of that down to here. So here's that, like that, okay? All right, so here's this, and that's basically what we're doing. Now this is gonna go in. You may have to nip that little corner off here, but ultimately this is what we've got going in. So we're gonna do that 2 more times. Now, if you have an amazing trimmer, you could potentially do both at the same time, but I don't want to take any chances. So I put my finger on the score line and then pivot off of that. So there's the bottom corner, there's the top, and there. So we're going to take this off. Okay, so some of this is going to start to feel like repetitiveness, but it's good because if you see it a few times, then you don't have to maybe watch the replay. So we're going to do that. Okay, so we're just nipping those corners off. So there's 2. Find the corner, find the score, cut the corner. There's that. So the class does consume a lot of this designer paper, but there will be some scraps left for you guys to create some extra things with. So we got that corner, and then just 1 more. Find the score line, and then pivot. Bring the score line back, and then cut. There's that, and then 1 more. Corner, and then pivot. Like that. Okay. So far this is what my scrap pile looks like, you guys, which you'll have a little bit left to create with. Some other things. Okay. With that now, you have all of this designer paper and you have this card. You can put all this on there and set it off to the side. And we're going to go on to the next card. We're just cutting designer paper at the moment. All right, next card. Oh, I like this one a lot. Is this guy right here. Okay. Very cool. All right, so that is this top piece of paper. And what's nice about this one is the DSP is 6 by 5 1/4. And you get 4 out of the 1 piece. So you're gonna have 1 piece left over, which is quite all right. There is direction to this one. You have to make sure you're getting your plants that are growing up going that way. And the width of this, so if you look at this, this is 6 inches and it's scored here and it'll be scored again there. And then it's 5 1/4 tall. So because I know it's 5 1/4 tall, 5 1/4 and 5 1/4 is 10 1/2. And 12 minus 10 1/2 is 1 1/2. So I am going to cut off 1 1/2 inch from here because I don't need it. And I'm cutting it off of the top, right? Because my plants are going this way. Okay, so now that I've got this at the height I need it for all 4, now what I can do is I can score. So what happens is this needs to come like this. And the distance here is 2 inches, okay? So with this like that, with my flowers up, I'm gonna score at 2 inches, okay? score it 2 inches. Just for now, so we don't get confused, we're going to score it at 2 inches. And then it gets cut at 6. Okay. And then we can twist it and cut it at 5 1/4. Okay. So this gives us 2. And now when we flip it over, our score is on the other side. And it basically, when you fold it, you have 2 inches of the green showing and you have 2 inches of flower. All right, so that's the first set of 2. Okay. Then we have another sheet here that's ready to go. It should be 6 inches, but we need to score it again. So with the flowers on the top at 2 inches, and then cut it at 5 1/4. And that gives us the other 2 pieces of designer paper. Score ends up being here. All right, so those are the 4 pieces of designer paper that are for the next card. So when you have your pile here, you're gonna have some berry burst that goes to a piece of white. So all of this berry burst goes with this. So that will make these 4 cards. So I'm going to take that off to the side and put that over here. And then the next one, so I hope that wasn't too confusing. I love that kind of a card, it's really cool. All right, the next card is going to be the most headache of them all. Can't lie. So this one is going to be everything from, there's only 2 of this one. Okay, everything else in this class, those 5 other designs have 4. 4 times 5 is 20, and then this makes 22. So we're gonna grab these things, which leaves a whole chunk here yet, right? So we'll set those there. And then for this paper, the reason it's 2 is because it uses more than a half a sheet of paper. So we actually have to cut into both of these. This is that flowery paper that has hot pinkish on the one side, melon mambo-y, and then it has the lighter petal pink mixture on this side. Okay. So on this one too, Jolene did a nice little diagram for you guys. And all in all, we need to cut like a rectangle. So the DSP starts at 8 by 6 3/4. And there isn't really a direction to this paper, which is very nice. I like that. So we're just gonna cut 8 by 6 3/4 right off the bat. All right, so let's do this. We're gonna cut it at 8. Right there, okay. So this is extra for the moment. We do need to grab a part for right there, but we'll do that in a bit. Okay, so that, and then we need by 6 3/4. So right there. Again, this is going to be a little bit of a scrap for now. And because we're doing 2 of this card, you are going to have to dip into this piece right here. So cut it at 8 by 6 3/4. All right. Because I can, I'm going to cut the designer series paper, those 2 little squares, real quick. I'm gonna get those measurements because that's easier to me right now. It is 2 3/8 by 2 3/8. So I'm gonna grab from this one and we're gonna cut 2 3/8 and 2 3/8. That was easy, you guys. I'm preparing myself mentally for this. Buying my time and procrastinating. All right, so this 2 3/8 that we're cutting here is for that piece right there. I see some envelopes being decorated. Oh yes, Sandy, good suggestion. Absolutely. Oh my goodness. So 2 3/8, 2 3/8. For your envelopes, you guys, definitely you could use some of this stuff to do all of the, like, it doesn't matter that some is pink and some is gonna be purple. Decorate your envelopes with these scraps, absolutely, if you don't feel like designing something different. Okay, what happens for this, I'm just gonna look at this with you. This is your piece right here, okay? So ultimately, we need to put a score line here and here. So that's easy, right? We can handle that. I just gotta remember what they are. Score at 2 3/4 on the 6 3/4 inch side. So score at 2 3/4 because this is right here, 2 3/4. Okay, so we got that. So we're gonna do this. Shoot, I gotta get rid of this arm. I'm not used to using that. Okay, so with this paper like this, 2 3/4, we're scoring, not cutting. So 2 3/4. Okay, and we're going to score, don't cut. Okay, 2 3/4, got that one, right? And I'm just going to, so that didn't even score it. There's like hardly a little line there. So let's do this one more time. So I'm more gingerly with designer paper and scoring because if you push too hard, you can actually cut your paper. You can tear it. So I'm not wanting to do that. Okay, so there's my score. So 2 3/4, and then let's grab the other one. Okay, 2 3/4. Don't cut it. All right, so that's the first part, is we're putting this score line right here like that. The next one is 2 3/4 on the 8-inch side, but it's 2 3/4 from the top, right? So now that you have this score line here, we want to make sure we put the score line right here at 2 3/4. So I'm going to twist my paper to the left, so counterclockwise, and go to 2 3/4. Score, don't cut. Okay. You are bothering me, little dude. Let's get you out of the way. Let's go like that. Okay. So now we have a score here and here. 2 3/4 from the top, 2 3/4 from the left. So on this one, I've got 2 3/4 here. So I need my score line to be going here. So I'm counterclockwise, 2 3/4. All right. So those are the easy parts. Okay. What's hard on this one is getting this score line here to here, because what happens is this corner is it's the height up here, right? So the corner is actually there. That's where this needs to go. So I was trying to think if we had developed a trick for it. There's a measurement. It says so I'll read this out loud because I'm sure it's what it says in the PDF tutorial. On the 6 3/4 side, place a tick mark 1 3/8 inch from the right. And on the 8-inch side, it's 2.5 from the bottom. Okay, so we need a pencil. So let's grab a pretty purple pencil, and we have to do some tick marks, okay? So let's move this out of the way just for the moment, and we'll read that one more time. So I have my score here on the left, and I have my score more to the top. And it is taking your ruler, and you're gonna place a tick mark 1 3/8 from the right, okay? So 1 3/8, I hate this ruler. Whoever designed this ruler is not a good ruler designer, because I just have to say, they put on the 1/8 inch, they put the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and on the 1/16 of an inch, they did the 1 on the other side. So you got to flip the ruler. It's just weird. So I want this side, and I have to go like this. Okay, 1 3/8, you're going to put a tick mark, right? So I'm at 1 3/8 here. I'm going to put a tick mark right there. Okay, so let's do it on this other one right away. 1 3/8. So I'm going to find the 1 3/8 right there and put a tick mark. Okay, so far so good, hopefully. Then on the 8-inch side, place a tick mark 2.5 inches from the bottom. So this is my bottom, and I'm gonna go and put 2.5 inches. You know, I could use my glass mat. Look at that, you guys, 2.5 inches. Here's 1, 2.5. You know, that's what the glass mat is all about. Having a ruler right in front of you. So I'm gonna go on the 6 here. And then I'm going to go 1, 2.5. Okay? All right. So what's the easiest way to do the scoring? I guess you can have two options. One is you could grab this guy out and you could put your tick mark here and toggle or pivot to the tick mark here. So you've got that, and it should run right through the middle of this. So let's just kind of eyeball that. You know what? Let's grab a bigger ruler, because I have a bigger ruler right here. I have a Mac Daddy big ruler. So it might even be too big. But I'm gonna go and put my tick mark there and tick mark here, and it should cross right at the where they intersect here, right there. That means you're in the right spot, okay? So tick mark here, tick mark there, everywhere tick mark. Okay. And you'll know you're right if you're right about where that, this, and that all meet, okay? So I said I might have another way for you if you don't want to use that. What you could, and I haven't done this recently, but maybe since I put the card together originally, but on here, you could also take your ruler there, and you could take your ruler here. And I can see my tick mark, and I can see my tick mark. And what I could do is take my bone folder now, and instead of putting the score mark on it, you could just use your bone folder and fold that up like that. So you wouldn't have to use the scoreboard. So you could just take your ruler like that, and then that also would fold it. Okay. So here's the true testament to see how good we did, right? So if this needs to go like that, right? So basically what you want to do is burnish all your edges. This is going to be important. So fold on your score lines, making sure you fold everything straight. Like this, and then like that. Okay, so now what happens is this, I guess I got my two naughty fingers and they go in the crease, okay, like that. And I'm pushing with those two fingers in while I'm pulling this down. And oh my goodness, look at it, so exciting. Oh, wow. Okay, now what I'm gonna do is make sure everything's shored up. So I'm making sure it's flush at the top and it's as flush as it's gonna be on that side. Oh, goodness. Whew. I'm a little bit nervous. Okay, so that worked. And now that goes up like that. Okay, so next one, let's try it again. On the score lines, when you're burnishing, making sure that everything's straight and flush on the side. That's really important. Hello, Holly. All right, and then like this. Thanks, Elaine. Okay, and one more like this. Okay, now naughty fingers pushing in on the sides here, bringing that down, and then as you set this down into it, burnish it. I know you guys couldn't see it, but it looked like it wasn't gonna work properly, but as I squished this down, it pushed the paper out, and it's pretty square up here. I mean, it's off by like maybe less than a 1/16 of an inch, but that's not gonna matter. Whew, but there it is. Okay, so that's the meat and potatoes of this bad boy. Okay, so we've got the designer paper prepped and staged for this one. So what we're gonna do is take a break from it, and we'll prep the designer paper for the next two. And the next two are not gonna be this complicated. I promise you. They're going to be more in line with our speed. All right, so next one on the tutorial is going to be the orange one. So let's pull this. We have two left, basically. So the one with the orange here. Aren't you glad we got class today? This. So I believe that this is everything. So you guys do not have your stuff stamped. I did this to show you that you can fit 4 of them on. This piece, well, I just lied. Okay. This actually goes with the last card. I wondered about that. Okay. I was like, there's hardly any stuff with that last card. So I made a mistake. This stuff from the last card actually goes with this stuff because you can see there's petal pink and pink here yet. Put that on the back end of that pile. Okay. Then I think we're back up to speed. And then on this next one, this is orange and it goes with this. So you guys will have a piece of white. I started practicing in 4. We're not going to fit like that. You have to stamp these like that for the 4 to fit. So this next one is going to be orange. The last one is going to be the shamrock. Okay. So let's set you here for now. And then the orange one uses the 2 pieces of paper that are yellowy and orangey. So let's grab those. Let's talk about this. This guy looks like this. Okay. So the height of the card is 5.5, right? That makes it a regular A2 size card. And our width of it is actually 12 inches. So we don't have to cut anything off the sides. But because 5.5 and 5.5 is 11, what we're gonna do is cut 1 inch off. There is direction to the paper. To me, these are little flower stems going up and down. And so I wanna make sure I cut it the right direction. So I'm gonna twist it this way and we're gonna just cut off 1 inch, right? Because 5 and 5 is 10 and a half and half and 1. 10 and 1 is 11. So I'm cutting off 1 inch either off the top or the bottom. Let's put that in here. And perfect. I did that first so that I didn't have score lines on that bottom piece. All right, so now we've got it that way. We're gonna do some scoring. So we're going to score at 1 3/4, 4 3/4, and 7 3/4. All right, so let's start with the yellow here. All right, so we're gonna leave it with the yellow up, and we're gonna do 1 3/4, and then 4 3/4, and 7 3/4. All right, so we're gonna switch gears, grab the other sheet of paper, and we're gonna do the same thing. 1 3/4, 4 3/4, 7 3/4. Okay, then let's switch out the score for the cutter. And half of 11 is 5.5. So we're gonna put this in with it going horizontal, put it at 5.5. And then we've got these 2 done. And we've got these 2 done. Okay. Perfect. So this coupled with this pile is what you need to do this card. Again, we'll come back to it. The last one. I love this card. Okay. I have to give credit where credit is due. So I failed to mention this earlier, you guys. Give Angelique McClendon a big shout out. Angelique was the girl who helped me design this class. And she got the ball rolling and came up with the 6 different folds and sent me up samples to work with, and pretty much we used her designs as they were. We might have just tweaked minor things just to accommodate it, because it's really hard designing. If you guys don't know, maybe you know, it's hard to design for personal use and cards that you might be making one time compared to, okay, we're doing a class of 60. So there were minor tweaks that we had, but all in all, the cards were Angelique's brain power, right, and creative power. So thank you to Angelique for helping us with this one. It was because of her that this class is to you and happening today. Otherwise, we probably might not have designed the cards at this moment. So thank you, Angelique. All right. And I was just thinking, because Angelique had this originally going as a horizontal card, which I'll show you kind of like how she had it, and then you guys can decide, do you like it vertical or horizontal? That's the great thing about card making, is you can switch things up if you want. Hello, Barbara Gobby. Thanks for dropping in. You just took your scoreboard out of the box. Good. Use that scoreboard, Laura. You're going to love that scoreboard. I love scoring on the scoreboard versus on this thing. This has got its purpose, but scoring mass quantities, we definitely use a scoreboard. So this one opens up like this, which is super cool. All right. It's an accordion fold. We've done the horizontal accordion fold, but this is a vertical accordion fold, which is cool. All right. So on this one, our DSP is also 5 1/4 tall, and it's by 10, right? 10 wide. So there are 2 more pieces of paper here that have the blue background. No direction to this. But okay, so 5 1/4 and 5 1/4 is 10 1/2. So knowing that, I'm gonna cut 1.5 inches off right off the bat because I don't wanna deal with having it scored or worrying about it. So cutting off 1 1/2. That's a scrap. And here's a scrap. And I know that might be confusing why I'm cutting this off first, but hopefully it teaches you why. Hopefully you're like, oh, I get it. It might not make sense at first, but it might catch on later. But basically I did that because now 5 1/4 and 5 1/4, these are the 2 heights I need because I'm gonna end up scoring these at the same time. So, but the depth or the width of this one is only 10 inches, right? And my paper's 12. So I can either trust that the paper's 12 inches or not trust the paper, because sometimes you get paper and it's not 12 inches. I just realized that, but on this, it's gonna make a little bit of a difference. On this, I don't wanna take the chance and, because sometimes the paper is a hair short of 12 inches, and it might not be, but just, it only needs to be 10 inches wide is what I'm getting at. So we're gonna cut it at 10 inches. So I've just pulled out the arm and we're gonna cut it at 10, right? This is a scrap. And then we're gonna put this in here at 10. All right, so now that we got that done, we need to do some scoring. All right, so let's score here. So I left it at 10 because that's the width. And we're gonna score this at 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I'm not using this. We're gonna put this away. Say goodbye. Well, we're not done. I still gotta cut it in half. But anyway, say goodbye for now. All right, we got some scoring. With it on the 10-inch side, we need to score at 2 scoops. 3 scoops, 4 scoops, 5 scoops, holy Moses, 6 scoops, 7 scoops, and 8 whole scoops. All right, basically it's 2 inches in and then every inch. All right, so let's do the same on this one. 2 scoops of raisin bran. Don't push too hard, you don't want to rip your paper. And every inch after until we get to 8, 6, 7, 8. All right, I think we can say we're done with the scoreboard for right now. So I just need to get it out of here completely, back into its home. All right, and that's good for me to stand up, to stretch the back. Let's pull the cutter back in. Okay, our scoring is going this way. So we need to go either counterclockwise or clockwise, and we need it to be at 5 1/4. All right, and we cut it at 5 1/4. We've got our 2 pieces. All right, so the score lines are going this way. So we gotta flip it this way. 5 1/4. Okay. Whew. All right, I think we can say now we're done with this for the moment. Perfect. I just realized I have that. Yay. Okay. In case you guys are new to me and you don't know who I am, now you can see who I am. All right. That coupled with this is what we need for this card. All right. So congratulations. We just made it through the cutting of the designer series paper. Woo! Time to take a drink of water. Okay. The next thing we're going to start to do is go through the cards one by one. Now, we're on card number 6 in the tutorial, and it's what's in front of me. So we're just going to go with it, and we're going to make one card. And we're going to go through everything, though, and we might stage stuff so you can see what's happening. So this is the Shy Shamrock color, and somebody's calling me. I'll call you back. Okay, this, you can take your, it's just a normal A2 size card. You're going to burnish it with your bone folder. Then you have, so you should have 4 of everything in this, guys. Just hopefully crossing fingers and toes that you got all your bits and parts. So you have 3 left. I'm just going to set them off to the side because I'm not going to use them right now. All right. And then of this, you should have already had these embossed, 4 of them, with the plaster of Paris embossing folder. You should have some strips of scrap, 1/2-inch strips. So we'll need 1 of them. Put the 3 off to the side. You have These four pieces are for your inside, right here, for a little sentiment. Oh, round we go. I didn't grab round we go. Okay, that's all right. Everyday arches was used to cut out the melon mambo piece here, so you need one of those. And then on your 2 pieces of white that are here, you're going to need to stamp 4 of the flowers. Flower. And the 2 sets that we used for this class are the Thankful Garden stamp set along with the mixed florals. Okay, so those stamps and those dies are what you're going to need to complete these cards. If you want them looking identical to mine or close to it. If you don't have these stamps or dies, you could definitely use something else that is big in nature, like Tigger. He's bigger. All right, so I did that stamping already because I wanted to have a mapping here to show you. You can fit 2 of them, right? One down here, one here, one here, and one here. So that these 2 pieces of white are what you need to get your 4 flowers. Flower. And let's grab our ribbon scissors. I mean, our paper scissors. I'm just gonna cut this apart right like this. And I'm gonna set this with what I'm gonna use, this off to the side, and you need one of these for now. Okay, I'll put the other. So this is an investment in the future for some more fun times. And let's make this one. So we're gonna do a little bit, you guys are gonna do a little coloring 101 in a hot second here. So the card though, this fold, you see this pattern, and what happens is this needs to fold down on the 2-inch side. And depending on how you scored it, it might give you a hard time, and it might be just nice. So I'm gonna line up that side flush like that. Okay, that's that one. And then we have a series of mountains and valleys. Back and forth. Don't worry, I'm gonna burnish that in a hot second. That last guy right there, let's get you. So mine, it scored it not enough, and so it wants to roll with wherever it wants to go. So you got to be careful that you score it good. Okay, so there's that, is at my 2 inches. And I was doing okay on this right here until I got right there. This one gave me a little bit of a hiccup. I gotta get them right back on track though. Hi, Gwen Simmons. All right, let's look at this. Now I'm back, okay? So ultimately, you want, I'm getting this kind of situated before we put it in because it's important business here. And I'm gonna pinch these all together at the same time. That one looked good. That one is off just a hair, but it's not gonna make that big of a difference once it gets in the inside. What makes the difference on this is this right here. That right there is no bueno. And I know what's happening. It's because it's getting lost in right there. But we can adjust it though. And we're gonna do that before we put any glue on it. Right, so we're gonna just go with it. Okay. So what happens with this, when you glue this in, if those don't line up, you're gonna have a little bit of weirdness when you shut it. Like ultimately that gets glued there and this one gets glued here. But if you have that like this, it's not gonna be, it's gonna wanna push it away, right? So the main thing, I'm glad this happened to me so you can see if it happens to you. I don't know why it happened to me, I'll be honest with you. Can't explain that. But what needs to happen is this needs to get trimmed off, okay? So I'm gonna grab my little baby trimmer, wherever it might be hiding right there. Got it? Okay. Thanks, Sandy. Yep, don't forget the thumbs ups. Okay. So, again, it's important. I'm glad this happened because if this happens to you, before you start putting glue on it, you need to make sure that this is flush. And I can see that in my inside, I'm tapered here. I've lost a little, I've lost a little, I lost a little, I lost a little. And that all adds up to this amount right here. So if these were precisely all at 1 inch, you can kind of see that this one's a little bit wider. And I've already scored them. I'm gonna let it be, and I'm just gonna fix it on this end, right? So we're gonna take the trimmer and just trim that off, all right? That shouldn't make a difference. No, that's fixed. Okay, I have not enough space in my life right now to set all my things. Okay, now when this gets glued in here, that'll glue there, and it should shut just fine. Hello, Kenzie. Liquid glue, where are you? Okay. Oh man, you guys are gonna laugh. I'm almost out of liquid glues. But never fail. I've got a brand new one I can open up. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, glue one side. Okay, Carmen Sanders, don't put too much glue on. Just a little bit like that. Okay, there's no direction to this paper. So I didn't think there was. It could go however you want. The flowers are going all the different ways. So this is going to get glued in right about here, right? So you want that same margin on the top, the bottom, and your left. Okay, so then you can set this like that. The main thing is you've got it kind of squared up together. Just like that. And I'm just going to set my green into it. And it's liquid glue though, so I have a little wiggle room with it. So I'm gonna open it up and see how it landed. And because I trimmed that off, and it was really squared up good, I'm okay. It's got the same margin all the way around. Okay, so perfect, right? So that's gluing that in. So on this one, we have a happy birthday. The happy birthday comes from our beautiful butterflies, and the inside has time to celebrate. You guys, that comes from Round We Go. I didn't remember that, so I did not pull Round We Go. And I'm going to instead put celebrate on the inside, because that will fit there. And then the little flower that we used on this one is this little doohickey. Okay, so let's get some stamping going. And we need the Memento ink pad, or if you're like me, you took your white ink pad and made it into a black pad. Right, so we've got the Memento re-inking. So this is what we're gonna need for our happy birthday. I need to definitely give that stamp a washing. All right, gotta get my head in here, right there. All right. And then we've got the other verbiages and folds. I gotta get the green ink pad and a melon pad real quick. Noodle boy. Okay, so I've got Shy Shamrock on the bottom, inside of this guy, and then we've got Melon Mambo for the Celebrate. You guys could stamp whatever you want. Sentiments are always universal. You could make this card into a thinking of you card. It could be a retirement card. It could be like I'm going to do a birthday card. And then we've got the little foliage guy down there. Okay, so that's what we got for stamping on this one. And we've already, okay, you guys are going to need to stamp your, your big flower, right? I did it already as a guide to show you. With the ribbon scissors, or sorry, paper scissors, glue scissors, whichever, you can cut this at an angle. And then I've got about this much on the side for the happy birthday, right? So we could glue this guy in, and then we could glue these two things down. So let's just flip them over. We'll add a little glue. You could pop up this, but there's already a lot of activity on the inside there. So I'm going to only pop up my flowers. And then this guy could get glued. All right, so this one goes on our inside. Should fit right in there, that. And then the white embossed piece go right there on the outside of the card. And then your arch, it's just center. Now, I had said Angelique did hers like this, right? So she had her arch going this way. And then what we opted for on this one is to put it this way. Either way, oh, you guys, I messed up. Not quite, but I did. We're going to let this sit and marinate. There's ribbon back there. So one moment, please. That whole gluing thing, getting glue happy, is a real thing. And it happens to everybody at different times in your crafting experience. And so you just have to be more careful now that there's liquid glue on here. It's all right. We're going to make it work. So let me just grab this guy. Okay. We need some ribbon, and we need about that much. The tutorial says how much, but when I'm making cards, I generally just cut as much as I need. We're going to wrap this around the front here. Something like that. And then we had 2 waiting in the wings. Like that. And then we can now glue this down. Okay, we saved by the bell here. And then that can go on here. And because there's no glue on the front with that ribbon, we'll be able to still sneak those flowers in. So we're not going to let it sit and marinate. Sometimes when you die cut, it leaves little hairs on the side. If you just take your fingers like that, or your ink eraser, they just kind of like flake right off. All right, so this will be staged, ready to go. We have a little flower coloring to do. Flower. All right, the colors that I used on this one are definitely the Shy Shamrock, and I used a Purplelicious here. I would probably go with, this is dark Highland Heather. So let's just see what it looks like. Oh yeah, that's good. So to blend or not to blend, like that is the question, right? So I'm just going to do a little bit of the dark purple there, and we're going to see what the light purple looks like over the top of it. And that is Highland Heather. Sometimes when the area is so small, you don't always have the opportunity to do blending, and so you just use one marker color. But we had a little bit bigger area for this flower. So my first round of it, that's what I've got. And it looks streaky and not so cool. So then what happens is I go over the top of it one more time. And when I do that next time, it's when it all kind of blends together. You lose the lines that I had down here, and it kind of makes it just look a little darker down there and then a little lighter up there. Now, the question is, do you want all purple flowers? Do you want some yellows? Do you want some pinks? Really, you guys, it's all up to you. I have light, pretty, and pink here, and that looks pretty. I think I'm just going to do those for the little guys here. You could make yours yellow. They call me Mel Yellow. Whatever color. You guys, this is where use your imagination, dragon. And then imagine dragons. Use your imagination and color them however you want. I have melon mambo on the sides for those. So we could do the light melon mambo, and then that's berry. Here's melon, I think this one's melon. And oh man, that says light melon mambo, and that says light melon mambo. Oh, I got 2 light melon mambos. All right, well, we're just gonna do light melon mambo then. How's that sound? I think that'll be okay. Or if I had the dark one, I could do a little bit of shading, but it's really hard to pick up the shading. All right, so we're gonna do some melon mambos here. Mambo number 5s. So when I was coloring, you can kind of see my marker line, right? A little bit, like up there and down there. And what you can do to get rid of that is just marry them together like that. And then it kind of gets rid of the line. That's what's really cool about blends, is you don't end up with the streaky lines. You don't have to if you color it just right. Okay, so we've got some tulips going on right there. So that was what I've got, purples and pinks. You could do yellow if you wanted. Now for the shamrocks that are green, I have the dark shamrock and the thin end, and I'm going to do all my stems with the dark. So there should be 3 stems that you can find. This one's a little bit sketchy down there. He gets all wish-wash with the leaves. Okay, then what I'm going to do is take my dark and follow down some of these bigger leaves down the middle vein here. Color those in. Don't worry about what it looks like at the moment. There's a bigger one right here too. There's one right there. Little guy here. I don't know, I'm just going down the middle. This is what I tend to do. That, I don't even know if that needed to be done, but I'm going to end up coloring all of that in with green. I feel like it was the branch for that guy, but oops. Now I'm going to use the light one. Make sure you hit over the top of the dark that you just colored in. I have found if you go right over the top of the stem, it's going to look weird. So I learned to hover over the top of that and not go over the stem again. All right, I'm a righty, so I have to keep turning the paper to get the point where it needs to go. Okay, bringing you down. All right, and then if you need to button anything up, all you have to do is bring it right back over. It'll help to get that line away. Let's go up this guy right here. Oops, I went over the pink just a hair. It's coloring, you guys. You're going to have that. No one's going to notice. All right, and then let's get up here. Get this guy. You could use the thin end, but as long as your tip on the thick end is nice and pointy, you should be able to get into these cracks and crevices here. Okay, right. Okay, this is a little touchy situation right there. Don't hit the pink again, right? In the bigger areas, you can go a little faster. And these other little areas, you gotta be careful. Don't want any green flowers. Okay, so let's think about it. There's a stem right here, or a leaf. There. And then the other side of it's right there. All right, over here, it's up in here. Bring that down. Bring that down. Get in there. So you guys are getting fun folds, blends, coloring, massive quantities of cards. This sounds like weekend forecast crafting if you got this class with me. All right, almost there, you guys. Just have a few things down here on the bottom. All right, then a little over there. And then like that. Now, is there any part that you're looking at, you're like, oh man, I don't necessarily like the shading on it? Just go back over the top. Just know wherever you start and stop, that's important. So we're gonna start at the top and work your way down. This will help blend it together. And maybe like right there. Okay, maybe right there. Good. And then when you're done, call it good. Okay. Then always go back to see if you missed anything. You see here, I got that stupid little part right here. So I can see I didn't color it over there. Okay, so what happens here, I don't want it to look weird. So I'm just gonna do that. No one will ever know, except for all of you watching. So here's the deal. You just colored and you did a fabulous job coloring. You do not want to risk this getting adjusted or like twisting on you. I would highly recommend like a post-it note, some low-tack artist tape, but get that squared up really nice. And then I'm going to go over to my die cutting machine and we're going to cut it. And then we're just about there then. Let me get some tape. All right, so the good thing about it is you guys get lots of practice. You have 4 of these total to do, right? Because there are 4 cards. You're welcome, right? All right, so now what I did on this is I like the bottom to be flat. And let's pop the top up. Pop it like it's hot. Pop that top. Pop a top again. Alan Jackson would sing that for you. All right, then We'll put glue at the bottom. And because we already got the ribbon, we can just slide that on in. Oh, did you see here? This bottom part, it's missing a little coloring. So let's just touch that up a hair. It would have been harder to do that once it was down. So this is going to slide down in here. It kind of goes right past the arch a little bit. This leaf goes past over there, the pink, like just like that. Okay, so this little bannery thing is going to hang out right there. I'm going to pop up the one side, and then we're going to glue the other side with tear and tape. So let's grab that. All right. You see a little of that white ribbon underneath. And we get to make a bow with a bow maker because there's a nice bow right there. Oh, you guys, I keep my bow maker in the drawer over here. I don't actually have it out. This is the oldest bow maker that I have. Oh, you probably have never seen this one. This is the olden style that I have, one of my first bow maker I ever got. So, I think we'll go like that. We'll go at the top. All right. There's definitely not enough in this roll to do a bow, but I'm going to throw that away, and we can do it here. You guys, I did a whole video on bow making. So if you go to Cards by Christine Bow Maker, it was February of the year 2022, I think. It was 23 minutes long, and I'll never forget it because somebody gave me a hard time and kind of complained and said, why do you need to make a 23-minute long bow maker video? But she's the only person that ever complained. Everybody else was so happy about it. So I have to go with that, the fact that everybody else was happy with it. But 23 minutes, you guys, on how to make double bows, triple bows, quadruple bows, bows with ribbon on one side, and so it doesn't match the other side, right? So just different, you guys know me, I talk a little bit, so there's probably too much talking for her, but that's okay. We made a pretty bow for here. Guys, it's one of those things, you know, like you try not to remember that kind of stuff, but it's hard to not forget that kind of stuff. So, and now all you do is laugh at it, right? Don't even remember who she was. I never heard from her again. So there's that. All right, we're gonna put that bow right there, and you need to put some glue dots. I don't know. It was one of my first, it was February of 2022. It was the year I actually quit my job to do Stampin' Up! Full time. And it was, Kelly was always doing the Tip Tuesdays back then. Kelly did the Tip Tuesdays, then the Technique Thursdays. And she's like, well, now that you're not working, you're doing Stampin' Up! Full time, you can do the Tip Tuesday. So it was my very first Tip Tuesday. All right, you guys saw I put 3 glue dots there. And look at my tails. They are not doing what I want them to do, right? So do you know how you make that work? You know how you fix that? You show them who is the boss. You take another glue dot and you put it where you want your tail to go. So I want my tail to go right there. And then I'm going to set it into it. Right? Boom. That one's not bad, but he could use the assist. So we're going to put one right there. And then there. That's how you get your bows to look so nice, you guys. You use adhesive. Okay, use that ribbon scissors. Trim that tail. Trim that tail. Perfect. Boom. All right, that's how you get a cutesy bow on the side. All right, fluffy bunny ears. Yes, it will get squished in the envelope. It's okay. All right, Debbie guessed that she watched it and she loved it. Good, yes, you guys. I go back and I watch it every now and then. So it was good. I showed like so many different ways how to make bows. Okay, anyways, there's some butterflies on here. I left all my butterflies downstairs, and just to save time, I do not plan to Stella or put any gems on these cards because I have 5 more cards to make with you. So I've got 2 butterflies up here, 1 here, but you guys have a whole pack of them. So you figure out how it works to put 22 cards with butterflies. You might even run out of butterflies. I haven't figured that out yet. I didn't count. There's like 9 times 10. There's 90 butterflies and there's 22 cards. 22 times 3 is 66. So you should have enough for 3 butterflies for each card, I'm thinking, as long as there's 90 in there. So, okay, but we've got our first card done. And this is all I'm going to do for this. I'm not going to make any more of this specific one. You guys basically repeat, and then you'll get your 4 cards done. Okay? All right, next one is, okay, this guy right here. So we're gonna do the orange one because we're working backwards in our card making adventure here today. So this one looks like that. All right, we have here, this is your white inside piece. So grab one, put 3 off to the side. Orange is your inside mat. So grab one, put the 3 off to the side. You should have an orange label. You should have an orange top piece and a white top piece. Okay, so the rest off to the side. Now you guys have a sheet of half sheet here. Mimi said she watched it 3 times because she forgot how. Yes, it's a great reference tool. Thanks, Gwen Simmons. All right, this is to show you you can fit 3 of them. I'm sorry, 4 of them on this piece of paper. Right, so this stamp comes from the stamp set. It is called, right here, Thankful Garden. All right, I stamped mine ahead just so I would know if it would fit on here, and it does. So you guys are going to want to stamp your 4 and then grab one. Well, I'm just going to grab one of them for right now because I'm going to not put the other ones together. We got the drill. And then you only need one of these. And we're going to put these other 4 off to the side for an investment in the future. Okay. So there's that. This for folding. The yellow is, this is actually your card base, if you're wondering. There's a score line here, and you're going to score it, fold it, and then burnish it. Okay. So this is the base. It starts to become the base. Then, so you're going this way. Find that score line. Like that. Burnish. And then this should come right back to here. Okay. I have a little bit of a hiccup here because when I fold this, I want to make sure it's flush on this side. So right down here, it's starting to curve in. So you've got a little wiggle room with this. All right. So as you're doing this, I'm going to pinch it so that I want it to go, it's paper, show it who's boss. I want you to go to the end, right? So I wanted these 2 folds to come flush. And if I would have just pushed it down, it wouldn't have done it. I had to really assist it, right? But when I assisted it, life is good. It worked. Okay. So this is now your card base, right? So there are 2 things that's going to, or there's more than 2 things, but this is going to get glued in here. And then we have a white piece that goes here. And that says, you make a difference. You sure do. Let's see where you came from. You make a difference. Is that in that set? It is, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, Queen, it is. Up there. And then what does the outside say? Thank you. Thankful for you, friend. Okay, very nice. Very sentimental. Let's go with it. All right, so we need to clean up some stamps. Can you guys tell I just, I don't have everything like right here like I normally do. Oh, well, I do, but the chamois is dry. Rock hard here. Okay. Honky Noodle is sleeping in my chair. He's so adorable. All right. It looks like I have a butterfly here. And it probably belongs on here. Like that. I had one butterfly. Fell off. Okay. So let's get this happy birthday. And celebrate. Out of here. And we need a D block. So we're going to use this one. That fit? Nope, it won't. And a little paper pumpkin block I have up here. We'll use that. So it's always good to just double check to make sure your stamps aren't on there crooked. Right? All right, I don't have a white black pad up here, but I remembered to grab mine from downstairs. I've only done it one time. I need to do one for up here. So I've got my Memento ink that's already on my white pad, and it says here, oh, that looks kind of nice. Very cool having that butterfly right there. Okay, so you make a difference. So inky dinky do. Make sure you don't stamp it too close to the left because you'll see it. Put that there. All right, you make a difference. And then we have thankful for you, my friend. Oh, it's crooked. Hang on. One moment, please. We get to do a second side because there's two sides to the white paper. No, I think I didn't have it on there straight. That's better. All right, thankful for you, friend, goes on the label. That label, I believe, comes from Enduring Beauty, maybe? All right, ink it up good. It's nice because it's photopolymer. You can see exactly where you're stamping. And I already had my flower stamp, so that's good. Then we'll shut this, and we'll bring back the Shy Shamrock. I'm going to set you guys right there, because that is for a leaf. It goes on the inside. That leaf is part of this Thankful Garden set as well. So grab that little dude, the Dudio, and that can go right there. Okay. That's it for stamping. Well, you have 3 more cards to do, but that's it for the stamping on one. Oh gosh, I love it. So can you guys see how that stamps so nice? If I would have used, nothing against the Memento pad, but with my Memento pads, they get fabric-y, weird little lines on them, and they don't stamp so full like that. So definitely a win-win to put that Memento re-ink in the refill in the white pad. Okay, so we got that all situated. Wonderful. So let's move these out of here so that I don't misplace them. I'll put them right back into their humble abode. Cool. So let's get a little glue happy. We could glue these two. Oh, okay. Dry fitting is an important thing to do, and I just did it. You guys can do it too. So I just realized that this, I'd like to see a little bit more margin. It's not bad, but I would like to see a little bit margin on the top and or the bottom, right? Or the bottom. So grab your, any trimmer. If you need to dry fit, it's good to do that before you put glue on it. Because if there isn't glue, then it's easier to cut it. So we got that. And I'm also seeing that when this got cut, I think mine went this way. So if you see any of that stuff, it's good to shore it up. Make sure it's straight. So that side is straight, and this side, it's going to be good here, but then now it's going to taper, and I can cut that taper off. Nothing to do. I mean, no harm, no foul, right? As long as you catch it before you put glue on it, it's going to be a lot easier for you to do this. I noticed that on my cutter, my big cutter that's up here, it sometimes pulls in the paper, and it twists it ever so slightly, and sometimes we don't catch that until like you're actually putting the cards together. But as long as you catch it, you can fix it and put it right down. All right, so that's good. So let's glue these in the inside. Okay. Sometimes you gotta see it folded to know where that score line went. All right, so that's good. Oh, got the glue on my finger. I'll be wondering why it's sticky later. Okay, so there's an inside for us. Wonderful. All right. This goes like this and then like that. Now, I did glue this orange piece flat onto here. You could also pop it up if you wanted. The other thing I didn't do on my white sample here is I didn't put a background on the white. If that bothers you that it's a little too white, you could always splatter it with some Stella ink juice, or you could stamp a background stamp on it, but it's also clean and crisp looking white, right? So your call what you want to do. I'm gonna go with the flow and glue the white on and not worry about having a background on it. And I dry fit it, so I know it's good. Right? Perfect. Then this is going to end up going right there. And I am going to use liquid glue, and I'm going to use a little bit down the left backside. And what I like to do is put this right there, and I'm going to put a little bit of glue on that right side of that flap. And then I should be not risking going over. I'm going to do the same margin on the top, the bottom, and the right. And that should get glued right onto that flap right there. You want to make sure there's no glue here, otherwise it's fine if you do. It's just it's going to open like that, right? Which isn't the worst thing, right? But you lose that, okay? Flower power. All right, and then our label. So a couple things left. I'm going to run tear and tape across the back, top and bottom like this of my label. And then we're going to grab enough ribbon. So this is too short. We'll use that for something else. But I have this. And what we need to have is enough for the label. Okay, so something like this. And all I did was folded it in half, catch the fold on the left side, right in the middle. It's not directly, it's close to being over the top of it, and then grab the bottom one and have it come out like that, to like tails flying in the wind. All right, and that's longer than what it needs to be, but I'm okay with that. I'll cut them off later. And then what I'm going to do is grab this and put that across it to help hold that down. Okay, so I've got that staged and ready to go. We get to flower color again. Color flower. Okay, I'm not so excited about how I did my orange on there. It's like, it's all right. I think I used dark pumpkin instead of light pumpkin. So let's try a dark pumpkin. I mean, a light pumpkin. Okay, I think I'm going to go for the light pumpkin this time. That's the beautiful thing about it. You are going to get something every single time, and it's always going to be a little bit different. Oh, yes, Mimi. She said you could dry emboss the background. Yes, I could have. Definitely. A really pretty embossed matte back there would be good. I'm going to take and do little bits of light. So that's dark pumpkin. All right, and I'm going to take my light pumpkin. Stampin' tries to help you figure out where to put the dark color. It's where these black lines are, right? Okay. Let's go with that. Then we're going to do a little bit of dark daffodil and maybe just the middle area. I think dark lemon lolly would be really pretty too. I should grab that. But then I'm going to do the light yellow. And with the light yellow, I'm going over everything. The dark, the pumpkin. We're just going to see what this looks like. I can still see the little lines in the middle. I'll come back to that. You don't want to do it all in the first go round because it is wet. The ink is wet. If you keep adding to it, it might actually bleed outside the lines. Okay, so there's that. It looks a little drab next to that one. I can't deny that. We're gonna go get some lemon lolly and see once if that'll help. So I'm doing my light yellow right now. Ooh, I just realized this. So you have to be very careful if you stamp something on the back side because it starts to show through there. All right, so we're gonna let that dry for a minute and we're gonna go through the Shy Shamrock. I think we use Shy Shamrock on all of our greenery, stems and leaves for all the cards. It seemed like a bright, cheerful green. I'm just gonna go up. That. Do this guy. Doing the dark where those lines are. And then I'm gonna follow up with the light Shy Shamrock. Okay, so I'm a righty, so I'm gonna do all my left sides first. And then I'll come back, flip my paper around. And then I do my lefts or my right sides. Okay, I'll go like this. So they do make a color lifter if you go outside the lines. I've never had much success with it, so I don't use it a lot. But it's supposedly supposed to Like I went outside the line there. It's coloring. That's what happens. Okay, so I made my first round with all my leaves. Now what I can do is go back, and if I see anything that I want to look a little smoother, I can do that. All right, so that's good. But I want to see what a lemon lolly is going to look like over the top. So don't be afraid to mix and match your colors together as well. So let's see here. I have a light lemon lolly here. We're going to try it out and see what happens. It might brighten it up, and it's also going to blend it together better. So I'm going to do the whole lemon lolly over the entire thing. And that will blend out the orange a little bit more. Very cool. So you can see the difference between the flowers a little bit, but I'm going to do this side too. Now, be very careful. Like I realized that I stamp on the backs of some of those, so you could even put a butterfly gem right there if that bothers, right? So that's coming through there. It didn't come through the green so much, but less noticeable. But I'm good with that. And all in all, I think that looks really nice. I can live with it. So on this one, it's the die set that goes with this guy. So we need this flower. Oh, I missed part of the flower, or the leaf tip. I'll be right back to color that in. I'm going to tape that down. Okay. All right. Ooh, it's so pretty. I feel pretty. All right, so then I missed that little guy right there. And when you die cut, if yours happens to be less on one side and more on the other side, you could always button this up by doing the assist and making it a little more even. It doesn't hurt. Yeah, the die might have moved on me when it was cutting, but by fixing that up, no one will ever know that. So, all right, we're almost winding down on this one. I'm going to pop up the top, pop it up again, and then we're going to put the bottom flat. So look at this. To use up these guys, catch the leaves over here and right there. And then we'll glue the stem part flat. Like that and like that. And got it right nestled on here. More angle, like that. Okay. And then this one, it's going to be good to pop this up. But you have to get some of the dimensionals on the label and some on the ribbon. Otherwise, it's going to have a hard time sticking. So we capture right there. All right, so then this will go over the top of the stems, and then we can trim our tails. All right, so I see here, I covered up that leaf, ha ha. All right, I covered up that leaf. Okay, this is what you could do. You could take your scissors and round that leaf out, right? And then this can kind of come slightly over the top of it. Not much, just a little bit. Just barely is going to kind of hang over. Okay, grab the ribbon scissors, and now you got to cut your tailsies. Perfect. All right, so I've got some butterflies, 1, 2, 3 eyes on me, and you could Stella if you wanted, right? I'm not Stella-ing, but we're gonna make 4 more cards. So that's what we're gonna do. All right, so that's my sample. I can go over here. And so we've got 2 scoops done. We've got these 2 pretties done. And we're gonna go on to the next one, which is our corner fold one. And we've got the bulk of this one done already, I think, because we did the fold part. We have a flower to do. Okay, so for this one, there's only 2 cards, right? So let's think about this. I think this went with the last card. I think that needs to go over there. So let's think. We need one of these. We need one of these. One of the petal pinks. One of the melon mambos. Okay, this goes with that. And we need one here with that. So I think we gave you potentially 2 strips or 1 strip that looks like this. If we gave you 1, just cut it in half for now. Put 1 there, cut it in half, so that works. And then you have those 2, these 2. That mat's there, and that mat's there. Okay. Okay. I think that I had a slight mind fart when I was doing this. I think I might have given you, or we gave you, a half a sheet, thinking you needed to have 4 of these, because it was really hard to remember that this specific card, there were only 2. So if you do have a full sheet like I do, this is how you can fit 4 of them on here, right? Because that was my test, was just, can you fit 4? And technically I should have just given you a 1/4 sheet of paper to do 2, but what happens is we thought of it, I think, after the fact, and I'm not going to worry about it. So you have extra white in case you mess up anywhere else. All right, so I don't need this. I don't need this. So I'm going to set this off to the side, and we're going to work with this. All right. So again, you only need 1 flower. And, oh, we did splattering. We sure did on this one. Okay, so this is your layering for the front here. So we can just dry fit that. Make sure that works. Ooh, it's really tight. Okay, so you definitely, if you grab out your trimmers, it's great. Like the pink is going to be perfect. I think the petal pink is going to be just fine. I think you're going to want to trim your white just a hair. And that's okay. But that's why we test it front right now. You know, when you cut all the paper for all this stuff, it's hard to get things exactly. And I'd rather have them be too big than too small, right? So then you guys can shore these up, right? So that is pretty good. I'm going to just trim off 1 more micro hair on the side here. And now I'm happy, right? So do that for yours too. I'm guessing that if I had to do that, that you guys are going to have to do that too. All right, so there's that. Then we'll have this for our happy birthday. Test this out too. Make sure that that is good. That seems like it fits. If you want to see more pink, you could always, if you wanted, we had that square at 2 3/8. You could take off a hair from 2 sides like that. And then you would get potentially a little bit more petal pink margin. Okay, so that works. And then this fits. That's good. All right, and then what you want to do is test this out, make sure that fits on there, and it does. Okay, well, we can get a little glue happy. I feel like gluing. So let's glue that. Let's glue that, and let's glue our petal pink piece in, and then let's glue the back. So we've got some things to glue. All right, so this back, we can glue this one, that. Oh man, that cat fur is in there. I think it's not coming out. It's gonna be forever in this card. All right, so this one, you wanna make sure you have your corner at the top left. Center that in there. That's good. All right, then these 2 get glued together. Chris, would you explain how to get the tutorials after February 20th? I want this tutorial. I tapped on May 1st, but nothing came up. Okay, well, the easiest button, Mimi, send me an email. Just say, hey, Chris, I'd like to get this tutorial for this class. Okay? Because you send me money electronically outside of my website, if I'm not mistaken, right? So I think if you don't want to pay for my website, just send me an email. Say, hey, Chris, how much for the PDF? Or, right? So, and I'll tell you how much to send. Okay. But for those that want to pay for the tutorial via my website, you go to my events calendar. So cardsbychrisb.com. And if you go to May 1st, you click on it, there's a couple things here. We had an in-color catalog launch class. We had an April paper pumpkin. And it looks like that's all we had. But that's because you're on your phone and your phone is small. My phone is small. If you tilt your phone this way and reset the settings so that it pops up this way, you can scroll up, and underneath Paper Pumpkin, there's another event here called PDF Tutorials Available with Cards by Christine. So you can't see it when you're this way unless it popped up that way, but it didn't do that originally, right? So it doesn't do it all the time. So when you click on that, it says PDF tutorials available, and if you want stuff before February 27th, click here, right? And if you want any of these, I have like here, Bloom Impressions Stamp-a-Stack is here, and you would just go, if you want to pay via my website, the newest ones are at the top, the oldest ones at the bottom. You would just add it to your cart and you check out, right? Put your name in, right? And then the thing that confuses people a lot is when you add it to the cart, that black bar shows up, but then it goes away. Eventually it goes, see, oh man, it went away. Oh man, now you're like, how do I get to my cart? I can't find my cart. I know I added it to my cart, but where's my cart? Dumb. Just all I can say is like, it should be like a little baby cart that's always up there pinned, right? But here's what you do. Do you see that? When you scroll up, the bar shows up and you have to click on the black bar and then it takes you to checkout. So many times I get people calling and saying, I added it to my cart, but I don't know where my cart is. All right. That's what the dealio is. Okay. And then you can proceed to checkout. Okay. So that's if you want to pay for it via my website. If you do, then I'll see it come through and I'll get an email, and then when I have a moment, I'll send it to you. But the easiest button is, hey, Chris, I want a tutorial. I want to pay for it outside of your website. How much should I send you, right? And then once you send payment, I will email you the PDF tutorial. Okay, like that's the easiest way. Now, the timing is the hard part, right? Because I don't live in my computer, and I do that stuff from my computer. I don't do that stuff from my cell phone. So that little guy is just decoration, you guys. It really is just to add a little bit of oomph up there. All right, this little guy right here, he needs to get glued right on that little corner, right? That's it. He only gets adhered right here. And we could do that already. I don't see why we can't. I wouldn't pop it up. And what I'm going to do is put a little glue there, and I'm going to put a little glue there, right? Because I don't want to risk going over the edge of glory. So this is centered on the card front then, like that. See, the liquid glue allows me to just squish it all over until I get it where I want it. Okay, perfect. Right? Wonderful. Now, onto the stamping and the coloring. Okay, so splattering too. Okay, we have Happy Birthday, so let's grab him back. I'll put him right there. Did that help answer your question? I know you said okay. I'm hoping that helped others too, because I get that question a lot. Like, where's my cart? I don't know where my cart went. And it's like, oh, I know. I wish I could just telepathically tell everybody all the answers to everything. Because it's like it should have a little baby cart at the top. And I didn't know that until I was trying to help somebody, because I was like, I don't know where it is. Okay, Happy Birthday is in the memento. On the inside, I think we have Time to Celebrate and a butterfly. All right, so Time to Celebrate also comes from the butterfly set, my loved butterfly set. And we'll grab this and put that right. I'm gonna move it over to the right a little bit because I wanna make sure there's enough room for that butterfly. All right, so that's it for the black. And then we need some Melon Mambo, number 5. The butterfly comes from that set as well. And I like to make butterflies look like they're perching on the sentiment. And that's why I stamp the sentiment a little bit more to the right, because otherwise that butterfly doesn't fit in there very well. So we're good for gluing this on the inside. Like that. Okay, so that has that white poking out now. So we get to color more. So I'm just gonna go, let's see what the light shamrock does here. There's not a lot of greenery on this one. And my leaves are small, so I'm gonna just use the fine tip, I think, for the entire coloring experience. Not a lot. And that is just a stem. A little guy right there. Little guy right there. Okay, and then, oh, did you guys see? I almost missed a leaf. Thought I was all done up there. But you always have to go back and look, because there's always one more leaf. I almost missed this little guy. All right, that's it for coloring there. Not a lot of blending. But if you wanted anything darker, you could always flip over. There, that looks nice. Okay, colors, petal pink. Dark petal pink. I think that's what I'm going for in my cone flowers here. The thing too with coloring is if you do a second coat, it usually adds a little bit of darkness to it. You get another tone. And then my Melon Mambos. So I guess I only have light Melon Mambo. And I think that my tip on here, ooh, I don't know, is that new? The tip is a little scrappy for me. It's like it's divided just a little bit, but I think that my ends are not the same. Look at that. I don't know if that has ever happened to you guys. There's the same marker. Same marker. Look how light that is. And then my dark side is so much darker. I mean, sorry, the thick side is so much darker. So I have to be very careful coloring. Oh, but you know what I could do then? I could use this side for these little guys. Now, I don't think it's supposed to be like that. And I don't have a technical answer for why my marker did that. And I could call Stampin' Up! If it was in 90 days, because I feel like it shouldn't do that. But I could bet you any money that this marker is over 90 days old. I would have to guess that this marker is 2 years old. So I don't know what happened over the course of time. It's very possible that the marker, so this marker has always been up in this craft room, and all my markers got put into the green room when we were redoing, and it's very possible that this marker was at an angle, and maybe all the color rolled over to the other side, right? Very possible, like who knows? And at this point, there's nothing I can really do about it except for just utilize it, because the tips are still working. So I do have another Melon Mambo. I think this is Melon Mambo. Oh, this is light Melon Mambo. I wonder what you look like. You look about the same to me. Okay. And my tip is a lot nicer. So it looks almost the same. All right. So we're going to shut this up. I was just going to test it out. You want to shut these markers. They're alcohol markers, so they will dry out on you. You can barely see the difference. Okay, so what you can do, for me, I can do, if I want this side a little darker, I could just do one more coat over the top of it. So blends are just trial and error, if I have to say an answer to that. Let me see what the thin side looks like. See, that's what it's supposed to look like, if I'm not mistaken. I think that something happened to my marker. It just gives me another color is what's happening, right? So I would have to guess, when you have markers, guys, you got to store them horizontal like this. You can't have them one way or the other way, because the ink will eventually transfer to one side or the other side. So they always say store your markers horizontal. Go check your markers. Make sure there's not stored vertically. You will have issues, I think, if they are stored vertically. Oh, that looks nice. So look at that. Because my light side or my thin side, it gave me another color. And it, honestly, it looks more like a different pink that we used to have, a positively pink or something. All right, the dies for this are part of the mixed florals. So you're gonna wanna grab that. And I have my tape right here. Oh man, we're getting there. We have 3 colored now, and there's 1 left to color. So I'm gonna go over to the other side here. Die cut this. It's really deceiving because it looks like there's a part there that's missing, but it actually, it's part of the stem. So let's see what I got here. Decent. Oh yeah. So it looks weird because there's this white gap there, but there's a stem over there that you don't want to lose. Okay, I love the cone flowers. Okay, both of these flower sets are really cool. Okay, we're not done. We have splattering to do. So, splattering. All right, so how we splatter. I have my cup of water, so I'm just going to take a dip of water here. And we're going to take, I should have done this first, but okay, wait, forget I did that. Grab your Melon Mambo, put your ink pad. If I have a aqua painter, I would drip it there, but I'd have to run back over to the other side. It's not a big deal, but all I needed is a little water. So I'm gonna just take my water glass. In dire emergencies, if you don't have a glass of water, just spit and it works. It works too. Just saying. I've done that before. So, all right. What we're gonna do is grab the Stella pen and you're gonna drag some of that water into your ink. And you get a little bit of water in the tip here. And grab your bone folder. Normally I'd put paper down, but I'm just going for it. I should zoom in so you guys can see this. It's so cool if you've never splattered before. Be very careful though. So you gotta go back and get a little bit more water. It just gives it some texture. But again, it goes everywhere, you guys. It's all the way up here and it's hard to see it, but I'll just twist this. So cool. Just adds a little splattery background. Gina taught me this many years ago. It was probably the year 2016 I learned how to do this. She's so full of good ideas. Okay, and I can do as much or as little as you want. All right, so what happens though, just FYI, it does go everywhere. So like on my thing here, you can see that there's splatter all the way up to the top of it, okay? So just know if you splatter that you could maybe make yourself a little box, right? Because you don't want to necessarily get splatter everywhere. But there, so we're cleaned up again. And it goes backwards, it goes forwards, it goes all the way to the sides, it's everywhere, right? But it dries pretty instantaneously. It's super cool though. All right, so now you guys have splattered with me. The thing is that you have this Stella pen and it's full of pink ink. What could you do? Instead of wasting it on a scrap paper, I'm actually gonna take and I'm gonna Stella my pink flowers. And that's gonna help get rid of some of the pink ink that's in the Stella tip. And it'll look really cool. And eventually, you could even do these little guys. Oop, there's still, so you know how, if there's pink ink in it by going like this and it's still giving you pink, you need to get that out of there before you go to the next project. Otherwise, you're gonna get pink in everything. You could even do this lightly, right? Just to give that a hint of pink, because that's getting there. You could then, you just come over here and you're putting Stella on your card and it's not really, let's just do this guy. And it's using it and you're not wasting it, but it's helping you clear it out because now when you go to do it, there's no pink in there, right? Because you want to get it back to the basics. All right, so we're gonna do this guy flat. See, that's what I could have done on the last card too. This little bit of splattering is super cool. All right, we're gonna pop this up. Pop it up, pop it up. Like so. And here. Okay, and then we're gonna do, oh man, I wanted that right there. Nope. So we're gonna do the bottom flat then. And we'll put a little ribbon behind our label. Or glue back here. Oh, it's so pretty. Something like that. Okay. And then for this guy, I angled both sides. So one like this. Like that. Perfect. Now this is where I have a little scrapperoni of ribbon here. Let's see if that's enough for this task. So grab 2 pieces of tear and tape. One can be waiting in the wings. One's back here. And we're going to grab the end underneath the TH. And you're going to make a loop. Bring it back and make a loop. So that's the perfect amount of ribbon for that. And then while it's in the air, it's probably easier to cut it. So you could just trim your tail like that. And then like that. Perfect. And then we'll pop that up. Hello, Jean Terwilliger was on a work call. Yeah, I gotta get that those work calls in. They work help buys more stamps, right? That's how it works. So work is important. All right, so then this here. And perfect, sounds good, Mimi. Thanks for sending me the email. All right, so then this is gonna go right across the middle here. What you could do is put that leaf or that petal right over the top. I don't know, something like that looks good, I think. Lift you up, put you down. Okay. Ah, oh, so good. So good. Gotta run, my sister just showed up. All right, sounds good, Debbie Gass. Have a good Friday lunch date. I love it. We'll see you later. All right, so I've got butterfly, butterfly, butterfly. And that's what we got. And we've got that one done. Okay, so you'll have one more of this one to make, okay? So we've got 3 done now, and we have 3 more to go. So we have these 3 done, but only one of each, right? So we're gonna make 3 more cards. And the next one is going to be, ooh, I like this one a lot. I love this kind of a fold. Oh, and I don't have my stamping done. Okay, so we'll have to do a little stamping. Hello, Mary Lemke. Better late than never. All right, so we're gonna do this guy. So you're gonna need one of the designer papers. 3 can go off to the side. You need one of the bottom bases. It's like a quarter sheet. You'll need one of those. One of those. One of those. And then these go like that. Okay, so this can go off to the side for later in life. And you have 2 pieces that look like this. You need to stamp 4 flowers. So let's grab those stamps. They're right here. It's like a hydrangea. So it's really cool. Big Daddy stamp, okay? So you're gonna need the E block for this guy. This guy right here. Oh, that's almost borderline not big enough, but it's just barely. So what we're gonna do on this is we need our black pad. We're gonna do some upside down stamping. And this one, so that last card was 2, and now you need 4. So each card after is 4 again. And I didn't do my stamping ahead. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna stamp this guy. I'm gonna make it so my tail is off to the side. It's not a tail, it's a stem, I get it. But you should fit. Oh, good job, okay? And then we're gonna do another one. Hello, Rosie Prouty. Thanks for catching me for a little bit. So we're gonna do this one, and we're gonna, oh, you've plenty of room. Oh my goodness, you guys even have a scrap in the middle. Could have used the white inside part for your label. All right, well, I'm gonna stamp those two, and I'm gonna go forward and stamp the other so you can kind of see how this is gonna work. So this guy goes like that. Let that marinate, perfect. Okay, and then this guy. What do we have? A thinking of you. Okay, that thinking of you that I use specifically on there comes from the Faith Collection stamp set, which is downstairs. I did tell Annette that I would phone her if I needed something, but lo and behold, there's another stamp set that just got introduced. It's a fan favorite. It's Beautiful Motifs, and look at that, thinking of you, right there. So we'll put Celebrate away, and I am sure that we did not reference Beautiful Motifs in the PDF for this class, because this is just something I grabbed because these stamps are up here, where when we were designing this class, those stamps were not even a thing. Okay, so we've got that done. So I'm just gonna wipe that edge off a little bit. Oh, you can hang out right there. And then for this, as long as I've got the thinking of you, this is for doing two of them, right? So I'm gonna stamp one there. It's crooked, flip it over. Do one here. Okay, so I don't like to go right back to the back side if I didn't do it good the first time. I go to the other side because now I still could practice again there. All right, so now I'm gonna do another one here. Good. All right, so I don't need one of these. These should go with my other card pile right there. All right, so, oh man, we've got more splattering. So let's grab one of these, and we'll put the other three on the other pile. And I think that, what is in the inside? Oh, one of those. Okay, so we're done with the black for now. That other little dude is from this set, Mixed Florals. That guy right there. Wait, this one. He is in the Shy Shamrocks. So put this on that side. Perfect. We're running out of room. So we're done with Shy Shamrock. And coloring. Or assembly. Oh, I put it on the other side. That's okay. Coloring or assembly. Coloring or assembly. Now these two pieces look identical. And if you look, they are, except for that one has a score line right through the middle. So you're going to fold this piece in half. Basically, it should be in half. And burnish it. So this is that piece. Because you were probably wondering, where's my mat? Well, it's right here. Oh, well, I'm wondering if I didn't give us enough white pieces. Did I not give us enough white pieces? I'm wondering. One moment, please. So, I'm starting to realize right now that you guys might be shorted 4 pieces of one of these whites. It looked like you only had 4 in the kit. I wonder. Well, so I have part of your problem fixed because I gave you a whole sheet and you only need 2 flowers on there. You'll be able to get 2 of them off of the other side. I'm thinking the other half of that page. And then you're gonna have to just use, if you've got some scraps of white at home, I think you're gonna have to cut a couple pieces, 4 pieces total. Diane didn't tell me that we were missing paper, but I'm thinking we are. It's 2 and 9/16 by 4 1/16, or you could do 2 1/2 by 4, right? Whichever you want. All right. I remember your bow video, and I rewatched it for 4 years. It's from 4 years ago. 25. I did it in 2021. Yeah, 4 years ago. Wow. and I use it all the time. It's an awesome video. Oh, good. Okay. All right, so I guess what I'm gathering is that we might be 4 pieces of this one short. I just stole from my other kit, and that's fine. You guys, hopefully everybody's okay with white paper, that they could cut themselves 4 more pieces that are 4 by 2.5. That would work. I guess completely, so that one goes on the outside, this one goes there. All right, so then we have this, which folds like this. And we're gonna burnish that. And we can do a little gluing. So let's glue this piece down. And because my inside is good, I'm not gonna stamp a sentiment. I'm gonna go ahead and glue that. That can go right in here. Should have dry fitted it, but I assumed it was good. This one, I'm gonna go right on here. Perfect. All right, then this back side. I'm gonna set it in here and then flip it, and then I think I don't have it centered. I have it that the green is pretty much the same around the edges, and then I'm gonna go in here and make sure I'm straight in here. That's good. I can handle that. All right, then with this thinking of you, trimmer, scissors, whichever, I'm gonna trim it a little shorter, like that. And then I have another scrap of ribbon here, which should be perfect. Grab your tear and tape. I made this one look like a little bow. Is this the first card? No, Rosie Prouty. We started at 10 a.m. my time, and it's 12:30 my time. We are definitely on to our 4th card. We've done these already. So, all right, let's do, so I have it crossing this way, and then I made it look like a little bow, and then I brought it back this way. Ooh, we're gonna run out of ribbon, but we don't have to. I'm gonna make it shorter by a little bit. Let's see if this is enough. So we're gonna cross, and then I'm gonna cross it like that. Ooh, that's not quite enough ribbon. So that's not gonna work. We'll save that for something else. Let's try it again, a little longer than this time. And it's underneath the N-I-I-N-G. Hang on, backwards, this way. I'm gonna flip it like this, and then I'm gonna bring it back. Oh man, the struggle is real on this little guy. Okay, then I'm gonna bring the bow back like this. So making a bunny ear that way. Okay, I got it. Okay, I don't like that. I don't know what I did there to make that look nice, but I'm not a fan of that. So let's just see. I'm gonna you guys gotta do things until you're happy with them. So I'm gonna go like that, and maybe I need to make it a little bit tighter of a bunny ear. It wasn't looking very bow-like to me. That looks better. Okay, see? You can be picky. That looks more like a bow to me. All right, so we got that guy situated. And what's gonna happen here is we're gonna need some dimensionals. There and there. Okay, I'll prep that and have that staged. All right, coloring. Back to the Shy Shamrocks. We'll use the dark there in the middle. Something like that. I know no rhyme or reason to it, but I like that. The hydrangea is really pretty. Okay, so there's that. Then we'll use the light. Make sure you're hitting over the top of the dark. It'll help to blend it. Oh, I just realized that we use a white re-inked. One of the cards, the last card uses, I was just thinking, is this the last coloring we have? And it is, but we need a white ink pad and a dauber for the last card. I don't know. I think about where my daubers are up here. Okay. Right, so when you got it done, you can do a little bit more. Perfect, okay. Then berry burst. Berry burst, so that's melons that are mambos. Here's berry burst. So I did a combination of light and dark berry burst. Oh, that's petunia pop. What is this? That's light berry burst. Let's just see what it looks like. Oh yeah, okay. That'll work. Oh man, lots of flowering. Flowering. Lots of coloring flowers. Well, hello, honeysuckle. How are you, girlfriend? You're a little late to the party, my friend. Oh, you gotta walk on my computer, do you? Okay. Are you gonna say hello to everybody? You gonna walk right up here? Hmm? Like, hi, Mom. What's happening? Well, we're having class. And we're coloring. Yeah? You wanna play fetch? We can in a little bit, honey. For right now, though, we're coloring. Hi, baby cakes. Your brother's snoozing away on the chair over there. Did you see that? Yeah, he sleeps a lot. Honey talks, you guys. All right, so I'm trying to pick some of the bigger ones to do with the berry burst. Hello, Yvette Lopez. Watching while you cut orange and crafting. I love it. Your husband, wasn't he working on a project for you in your craft room? I think shelving or something. Like, I'm trying to vaguely remember. I believe it was you who told me that you were redoing your craft room. I think. I could have the wrong Yvette too. All right, so I'm coloring some more big ones here. Not worrying about shading whatsoever, okay? Just coloring these. And I'm contemplating going in and grabbing this petunia. I want to see what it looks like because I don't think I have a dark, what is this? This is light berry burst. I don't know if I have a dark berry burst in my possession. Okay, so cheese, right? Queso. That's what I got for that. What is this color? There's dark berry burst. Okay, I do have it. Let's see how dark it is. Oh, it doesn't look any different. I think that these are backwards, but we're just gonna go for this guy. Oh, it looks exactly the same. My light is, like, this dark one actually looks lighter than the dark one. So we'll let that be. I wanna see what petunia looks like. You're gonna pack for, oh, you're going camping this weekend. I love it. Don't tell Tyler, he'll be so jelly. We gotta figure out some weekends we can go camping too. Okay, you guys are gonna laugh because this all looks identical to me. I'm curious if it looks identical to you. This one looks a little lighter when I use the fine tip end here. So we'll go through and use the fine tip. I'm looking for some variation in the colors here. So there's one hiding right in here too. It's like you got to use your imagination, I think, with that, where it ends, because there aren't any lines for it except for a couple. We're supposed to have a beautiful weekend here this coming weekend for Memorial Day. I bought all my flowers and plants the Monday before. We left on a Tuesday for Disney, so I bought all my flowers and plants the day before. And we've been keeping them alive, watering them. And I think tomorrow is the planting day. So hoping to get that done tomorrow. And I never cleaned out my landscaping last fall. So I've got leaves all over. I'm the only one in the neighborhood. I had leaves everywhere all winter long. We had leaves flying. It would get snowed on. The leaves would get snowed on, and then they'd dry out, and then they'd fly around. And so I got leaves I got to clean out of the landscaping. Because I got a little, I'll be sore on Sunday, I'm certain. So this afternoon I'm hoping to get one of the next June classes designed. And then in there's answering some emails and getting invested in some emails. Okay, that's what I got for coloring, you guys. That's all I'm going to do for that. This is your first sampler. Can one of you let me know if we get, yes, yes. Oh man, Vanessa. Kelly, oh, that I have to add it to my list. Kelly just created the tutorial for me yesterday. I need to email out the PDF tutorial. Okay, so yes, some of you got yours mailed already. A lot of you will get them during the Stampin' Fun in the Sun in June. So I will send the email out to everybody who's already registered for it. I'll do that, absolutely. So I learned something somewhere along the way. Oh, at leadership, or not leadership, at Disney. We were, Jill and Corey did a presentation, and they used their blend to do some splattering. So I don't know if this is gonna work, and this is very permanent in nature. So hang on, let's flip that. Oh, okay. Not really working. It does. I don't know if you guys can even see that though. There's putting color there. You definitely don't want to smash your marker tip, but this seems to be working. All right. So enough for me. I got splatters on there. Okay. Boom. That worked. Okay. I don't know if I like the idea of doing that because it takes the ink out of the marker and eventually the never gets replaced. But, and it is definitely permanent in nature. So you will have to use acetone or rubbing alcohol to get that off of there. Okay. But we tried it. It worked. It served the purpose for us. Now I don't have to get the Stella pen out and get it all full of the inky inks. Okay, it worked. Guess I can say I've never experienced that before, and I got to experience with you guys. All right. Okay, I'm gonna die cut this guy out with my die. Honey, go get your mousey. Go get your mousey. Where's your mousey? I'll throw it if you go get it. Okay, I'm gonna go die cut this. Rapido. Where's your mousey? Go get it, honey. Go get your mousey. Go get it, girlfriend. All right, I've got a flower. I think it's the last flower. And we're gonna pop this up on the top. And I think the leaves will do. One more right in the middle. Yeah, one more. There, the German comes out. That will get popped up. And put a little bit of glue right at the bottom there. And, whew, Allah, wallah. Something like that. Make sure I didn't have, oh, you gotta be so careful. Oh man, that's not gonna work. Okay, one moment, please. You cannot have the flower going over the edge here because otherwise the card will not open. So we gotta twist this a little bit. Okay, it cannot be over the edge here because otherwise it gets caught when you open it up. All right, butterflies up here, here, and one there. And we've got this thing staged and ready to go. Let's trim our tails. That one looks good. We'll make it a little shorter because I made that one too short. So even them out. Okay. Right there. Okay. We did it. Okay. You're very welcome, Vanessa. All right. We got another one done. Yay. Okay. So now we've got 4 of the 6 done. Okay. The last 2 do not have coloring involved with them. So they should go a little bit quicker because there's no focal images to stamp and color. So let's put the dies away. We used each of those big flowers from those 2 sets. This guy, oh man, I should have time to celebrate. Okay, so that is from Round We Go as well, which I did not grab. All right, so we're gonna need to have one of these, and then one of those, one of those, and like that, 2 circles, and then an embossed piece. That is a really new cool embossing folder. Pressed flowers, I think. So the rest of the stuff can go off to the side. And we'll put this guy together. All right. So on the score line, fold in. Make sure your bottom stays nice and flush. And you might just take this little corner off just a little bit. Oh, so I did it backwards or opposite. This one has the arm. Oh, I did it right. Okay, never mind. I thought I was going to put that one over the top, but now this one goes this way. Right? So bring that right over. What I guess I was getting at is you could have either side over the top, right? But now that I nipped that side off, I want to make sure that's on the inside, right? Okay, that's the important thing. All right. So what we're going to do is we want to make sure we have a pocket here. So you could use a thin 1/2 inch or 1/8 inch tear and tape, or you could use liquid glue at the bottom. You could use probably the 1/4 inch. So what happens is this, if you look at this, it wants to sit right there. That's kind of where we have it. So your best bet, I'll be honest, in some of the paper pumpkins, they have 1/8 inch tear and tape. Hi, where's your mousey? Where's your mousey? You didn't go get it. Go get it, girlfriend. Go get your mousey. You can do it. There's 1/8 inch tear tape, which is part of Paper Pumpkin. I also got gifted some in a pillow gift at On Stage. So I'm going to use that. It's perfect, right? You could also take your 1/4 inch tear and tape and cut it in half down the middle. Ultimately, the 1/8 inch is what you're going for here. Right, so that's across the bottom. And then that side goes in first. Right? And now this is going to need to cross over, and we need glue only in this area. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use tear and tape and bring it out to right there. And the glue experience, you're going to have to kind of gauge it. It's going to go right here, something like that. This comes across the front. So then we can glue the back. And that goes onto the bigger blackberry mat. Cool, very nice. That's nice. So now we've got our traditional A2 size card. This one, the front shows off the embossing and the back has the happy birthday. Now, I do feel like I want time to celebrate on here because it fits perfectly. And I don't have the Round We Go. So I'm gonna get this staged as much as we can, and then I'll let it be for a moment and I'll just walk you through it. So we need happy birthday, and I use that with Memento. So we're gonna clean that up, and then we've got the butterfly. We'll get that cleaned up. And then this uses Blackberry Bliss ink. And we're gonna stamp the happy birthday. We have a cabin with no amenities in the mountains, and it's tradition to spend Memorial Day weekend with kids and grandkids. I love it. Enjoy every minute of it, Kari. Oh, those are the memories that those kids and grandkids are gonna always have with them. Absolutely. And Rosie was talking about the PDF is in her email. I don't know, Vanessa, though, if you're signed, I can't remember. You did sign up for this class, I think. You guys, I did roll call. It was about 2.5 hours ago already. So I'm going to stamp the happy birthday here. I feel like that's crooked. So one moment. It is crooked. All right, so I'm going to set it back down and I'm going to let it take its natural form. Vanessa, I think you are on the class list for this, and I emailed it out at 6 a.m. this morning. Okay, now let's test that. See, it took its natural form back. So it's best to let your set stamps like lay flat. They'll get straightened out, and then you can put them on the block. I'm putting it more to the right. And then our butterfly is going to be stamped at second strength. You could use fresh freesia, or you could just go like that and do blackberry second strength. Because, oh, it got an ombre look to it. Look at that, ombre. Okay. All right, so time to celebrate is downstairs. Honey, go get it for me. If I could only explain to her what to do and how to get it, she'd be good to get it. So these guys are going to get adhered together. All right, so there might be a little bit of difference between them, and we're going to talk about that. But for now, we're going to put glue back here. And we're going to line them up. She'll go to the top. So we got flush on the top and flush on the side. And then you're going to want to use, let's use a trimmer. Mine is just a hair, right? You could let it be, or you could trim it. And I think that the bottom is actually spot on, okay? But you want these to line up, right? So, like, I just did that little hair, and now it's completely flush on both sides, right? So you could do that. And then we have, this is scored for you, right? It's already scored, so take your foam folder, burnish that. And then this is going to get glued at the top. Oh, man. Okay, something to consider. If I thought I was going to be safe. Something to consider, though. Drop your happy birthday down, and then your butterfly could come down a little bit because its wing is getting clipped underneath there. And it's okay. It doesn't feel it, but just saying that's what you could do. And then we're going to put a little glue on both sides of the fence here. And that's going to wrap over the top of this. Okay, should be flush. Now, if you have any white hanging out the edge, you're going to trim that off too, right? Right, so then that's perfect. There's nothing that really needs to happen on the front. And what you could do, I'm not going to stamp my time to celebrate, but I'm going to help you guys get this kind of like situated. We've got a little bit of work to do. We need ribbon. I would have to say, I don't know, this much ribbon. Might be a little bit too much, but it's okay. And we're going to need that scrap. An 1/8 inch hole punch or an awl is what you're going to need for this. Now, I think I have my 1/8 inch hole punch. So Stampin' Up! Used to make an 1/8 inch hole punch, and that's what I have. And this guy is 3.5. Half of 3.5 is 1.5 plus 1/4, so 1 3/4. Okay, so put a tick mark at 1 3/4, right in the middle here, and that's where you're going to have your hole. And you can either use an awl or you could use an 1/8 inch hole punch, right? So right there. Okay. You're cutting through 4 pieces of paper, so it's going to be a little tough. You take your ribbon, fold it in half, and this is where a pokey tool comes in really handy. You poke that folded side through, right? And then with the loop back here, you can grab your tails through the loop. And then what I do is I pull here like that. Good, right? So now you can trim your tails with your ribbon scissors that's covered up. Maybe something like that. Oh, do them both the same. There, so you got your tails up there. Oh, this is perfect. Okay, so we're not even going to waste that. We're using that. So this little guy is going to tuck in here now. See, it's set up. So if you did that 1/8 inch at the bottom, we set it up that you would see an 1/8 inch margin at the top there. Okay, that was intentional. Tear and tape is what you need next. I would say lots of pieces. We'll have 4 waiting in the wings, and this may be too many, but we'll find out here. So this little guy, and then across from it like that. So I've got these scraps that I'm going to try to work with. This one will be great. Oh, is that a net? Is it a net? Are you listening to me downstairs?
I am.
Yay! I didn't even have to ask. Thank you. Oh my goodness, you're amazing. Thank you, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so you got a little loop here, right? And that's why now I need this other piece here. Okay, come on. Perfect. She just wanted me to finish my cards. So now we're gonna grab this guy. We're gonna have it come out like that. Like that. See, we're using up scraps. I'm still using that guy too. Now on one more piece of tear and tape back here. Okay, now that's perfect for over there. And so now I'll come across here and we need to make a loop like that. And there's still good ribbon back here. So I don't remember what card is next, but that can maybe get used next. Grab the tear and tape. And then, oh, sticky, sticky. Little tail. Don't even have to cut it. If you angle it just right. Perfect. Okay. Button that up like that. Okay, so we've got that ready to go. Huh. A net to the rescue. Time to celebrate is perfect. That guy right there. And it's in the blackberry. That guy can go back in here. Perfect. Grab this. Inky dinky doo. Are there any more ribbon and embellishments left? Yes, Vanessa Ritter. Yep, I'm still taking registrations for my ribbon shares and my paper shares and for my embellishment shares and for Paper Palooza and for Stampin' Fun in the Sun. It's all available at this moment. Yay! Okay, so there's that. Now I think we're done with the blackberry. Okay, and then what I did is I popped up. Oh, did I pop up both? I did. Okay, well, let's pop it up, pop it up. Let's use up this sheet of dimensionals. There. Okay, oh, there's one more. So you gotta be careful because we don't want to have any bit right there. So let's take this guy off and put it right there. So we don't want any sticky part that's gonna hit right here. So let's see if I did that. Okay, yeah, perfect. So that's gonna cover up. It's like putting the safety pin on the diaper, right? Because the diaper comes in and then you're just gonna button it up. All right, and then we've got Time to Celebrate. Like that. Oh, yes. Okay. Voila. Okay. And then there are 5. So the butterflies, there's one that we have. It's really cool if you put it like right there. And then 2 more right there look really great. So good deal. All right. That's 5. One more. And then there was one more. And this last one is our butterfly card. Butterflies and flowers go really nice together. So we've got this guy. And you're going to need one of these, one of those, one of those. All right, these are stacked. I gotta talk about that. So you need one of the big ones and one of these. Okay. Now these, they're stacked up, so you want to just follow along. We want one, I'm gonna flip them upside down too. Okay, so one of these, one of those. These are the same, but you're just gonna do like this, like that, that, and that. Okay, so these are my extra sets of 3, and these are my what I need for this one. Okay, so I'm gonna put this off to the side. All right, let's talk about this. So the butterfly, I need to get a white ink pad and my dauber. I gotta look for a dauber. So then these bottom pieces here, these are what go out here, right? So that looks to be correct, like that. So that's gonna be this outside piece where the butterfly's on. And then these are in essence the same, right? And what I understand, okay, so this opens like this. So that fits here, and then we have white here. Oh man, time to celebrate right there. And then this should also, okay, so here's what's happening. I think Judy Immel told me this the other day because she did in person. This is good, like that fits. But then I think she said one of these is cut just a little bit too, or to like just shore that up. You don't have a lot of pink border. So the berry burst is correct, but the white isn't. And if we test these, yes, it's off by a hair. Okay, so you're gonna have to trim one of your white pieces. So it should be 2 9/16 by 2 9/16. So we're gonna have to just cut him down a hair. And now that fits perfectly. Okay, so one of those white pieces just needed a haircut. All right, perfect. Then we have here, petal pink mats onto there. All right, and then this guy. So this first score line is right there. Let's do it this way. Well, let's get that lined up and burnish it. All right, so that's this side. Then this has another score line. Must be right there. That's where it wanted to bend. And now this score line should line up with that edge. Oh, good job. Yep, perfect. All right. And then this comes back one more time. And it should line up right with the edge there. And even though it's a score line, you can make it, I'm holding it on my left side while I pinch it down on the right. All right, I think the bone folder is done. All right, so this is what we have. And you can see it kind of flips. Oh, look at that. I almost got the dimensional almost off the edge. Okay, so what we can do is a little gluing. We're gonna glue this, glue this. Let's get these glued, put them together. So that one, let's glue this one. And then our back here. Okay. This goes onto the berry burst. So berry burst with petal pink together don't look amazing to me. Like this doesn't really get me. But when you get the DSP mixed in with it, then it's like, oh, I think it was meant to go together. So that should fit right on here now. Ooh, okay, so here's the deal. It fits good on the sides, but my top and my bottom, it was just a little bit like not a lot of border. So you have a decision to make. I know we've got glue on here, but if you should do your dry fitting first, but I'm gonna make it work here. I'm gonna cut all at one time. I'm gonna cut a hair off. I'm getting, okay, that's what I thought was gonna happen. Don't worry, I made sure my fingers weren't in there. But you can see here, the last one, I had to get glue everywhere. All right, let's see if that works a little bit better. I gotta get my head in here. See, that looks good. Definitely do your dry fitting first. Okay, hang on. I got really sticky fingers, and I didn't take anything except for the glue. Okay, so that looks good. I can live with that. I can live with that. All right, you guys do your dry fitting before you put glue on it. That's all I can say. All right, so we're good though, right? So that opens like this. Now, this, what happens here, some gluing happens. Oh, I got this guy here. One moment, please. Let's not forget about you. I had prepped you. All right, so you're good. So what happens is we got to do a little bit of like gluing together, right? So this middle section gets glued together. So like what happens is this gets glued, these get glued together, and then that gets glued. So let's do that. Right there. There. Okay. And that's what creates this special fold. Hi, Anna Carter, you made it. Yay. See? So that's how that makes that. Okay. Then this guy goes diagonally. Hi! Where's your mousey? You didn't bring your mousey. I didn't see it, girl. I'm going to glue that flat, and it's centered top to bottom, left to right. I am noticing mine here with opening this up. My corner is getting caught right there. Hi, are you here to help? Hi, baby cakes. What's up, Mom? Are you holding out on me? Do you have my mousey? I can't find it. I can smell it on you. Honey, I don't have your mousey, girlfriend. We're making a card, though. Are you going to steal my chair? Is that what you want? All right, so we got to be careful here. We're going to put a little glue here on the one corner. That's going to go here. And then ultimately, we need glue like right here. Okay? And I'm lining up my peekies here. That peak, and hi, baby. Hello, honey. You scoping out everything? Good job. Oh, she found her. Oh, Mary Lemke, are you watching yet? Mary Lemke, calling Mary Lemke. I want to show you something, Mary Lemke, if you're watching. I got to show you what honey is on right now. I think you'd like it. Okay, so I've got that, right? So that opens up now. And I'm going to have that little bit of corner action that's going to, I might just sneak off. No one's going to ever know. I'm just going to sneak off a hair there and there. It'll open a little bit better then. Okay, so what's going to happen now, I'm getting really glue happy here. We've got these now that they line up and these line up. And that glue is so sticky. It sure is. So Mary Lemke, okay, Mary Lemke. I'm standing, you guys, in case you didn't realize it. But Mary Lemke, you once gave me a big handmade card that is made out of fabric. And Honey loves it. She sleeps right here on your card that you made me. So it's Honey's little royal throne here. This is her purple blankie that she absolutely loves that you made me. And so she enjoys it all the time. And so in case you're wondering whatever happened to your handmade card, look at her now. Oh my gosh, she just nestled in. Look at that. She's like, hello, I'm the Queen of Sheba. Yeah, aren't you though, honey? Okay, so I thought you'd get enjoyment out of that. You just great job showing how to correct any little item that's, I try to. All right, I still have issues on the corner here. It kind of just hits it, but it's all right. So we're gonna glue these. Now we have to make sure that this bottom one gets glued flat, and then this one only gets glued on the side. Okay, so let's do one and the other. So that's the bottom one, and then only, like, we're gonna do like that much. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. My finger had sticky on it. Okay, that's all right. Some white paper's going on that anyways. My finger made that happen. Okay, so this is the bottom one. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set it in here where I think it's gonna go. And then I'm gonna shut this and make sure it's underneath, and it is. And we made these two smaller. Okay, so just a note, one of these is bigger than the other two, okay? So you gotta make sure you get the bigger one on the outside. Okay, so that, and if you don't want this little thing happening here, you could also trim that a little bit. All right, so that looks good. Now this one goes right basically over the top of that one, like that, right? And it's still underneath here. All right, so I have my adhesive eraser though. And it is, where is it sticky? Oh man, it's this one. So I'm not gonna worry about the inside part, only the outside part. I'm gonna get that little bit of goo off of there because the white's really gonna cover it up. Okay, so I'm gonna leave that. There's a little glue line there, not worried about it. Okay, so now we have some more stamping to do. Right, we got like the core of the card pretty much settled up. So we need happy birthday. And we need, what do we have in here? Time to celebrate. So we'll grab that. Oh, the flowers and hoping it's the best day ever. Okay. We'll grab that. She's like, Mom, you're not playing with me, so I'm just gonna take a nap and make you jealous. I know you always love thinking about taking naps, but you never do. Yes, honey. All right, so we got some stamps ready. So for this one, we're using the color of black, of Berry Burst. And we have this little strip right here. Happy birthday. You got plenty. You could probably even get 2 out of there of a different sentiment that's short. Okay, there's happy birthday. Good. Time to celebrate goes on one of these. And that sentiment is, oh, it's right here. Perfect. So remember, it's a diamond, and diamonds are forever, ever, ever, ever. So there's time to celebrate. And then we have this little foliage thing going on here. And that foliage thing is at 2nd strength. Let's open this up so you can see. And I've got it decorating the edge here. Right there. Oh, I got a little ombre. And right there. Can't forget the little guy right on the corner there. Okay, so that's what's gonna go in that middle area. Good. And then, oh, more spam. I've had 3 spam calls, you guys, since we started this live. All right, so we're just gonna put this right on the inside. Right like this. Perfect. Time to celebrate is that. And then the inside is hoping it's the best day ever. Do you guys know where that comes from? I do. I gotta go get it though. It's over on the other side of the room. Hang on. Something with zipper. All zipped up. Honey, where's your mousy girlfriend? Where is it? Huh? I don't see it anywhere. And we're almost done with class, and then we'll play fetch. This is called All Zipped Up. Hoping your day is the best ever. I really hadn't planned to buy that stamp set. And I actually got it for the guys. And so I was potentially thinking of using the stamp set as a giveaway. And then that saying is perfect. And I've been using this saying a lot. So that's going to go right in the middle of our diamond. Okay, wonderful. So I think we're done with stamping for right now. This gets a little liquid glue. Oh, I didn't look for a white. I got a white ink pad here. I gotta look for a dauber. I gotta look by my bathroom sink up here real quick. See if I find a bathroom dauber. A dauber. All right, so there's that. We need to use a little tear and tape. I have a little schnibbin of ribbon here left. We're gonna utilize that. You're probably thinking, why do we gotta use that? Because we don't like scraps laying around, right? So we're gonna utilize that to the best of our ability. And what happens with that is we're gonna make it look like it's the line coming this way, right? And then we have to cut it off right in the middle. And we're gonna make it look like, I'm really seriously gonna do this. We're gonna make it look like the line going this way, right? It's all right, trust me. We're using scraps up. Right, so now we've got our 2 lines, kind of like that. We need tear and tape to hold that down. And the ribbon that we need to finish this is going to make the loop in the loop. So we're gonna go like this and bring it down and have it come up like that. And we're gonna cut it right there and look at it just to see if it looks okay. It's got a little bit of different angles going on. Hang on. We're gonna fix that. We're gonna have it go like this. It's all about how you have the ribbon going down. That goes like this. A little bit more covered up. And then down. Oh. You guys are probably thinking, why didn't you just grab a new piece of ribbon? Because I'm showing you how to use scraps. That's what I'm doing. All right, so there's that. And this one will come up like that. And then we can angle that and that. Good. I think I could live with that. Yeah, why not? Okay. And we need more tear and tape though. Right. Let's put that down. Okay. Used up some scraps of ribbon. I love it. Okay. The butterfly is from the beautiful butterfly. There's a hybrid embossing and die cutting set. And it's really pretty. It die cuts and embosses at the same time. So it die cuts out the butterfly and embosses. So what I need to do though is I need to go just for one moment. Let me look to see if I have a job of baby cakes. You need to get your mousey. Hello. Come on, honey. Where's your mousey? You gotta go get your mousey, girl. I found a dauber. Just gonna grab the white ink pad. Give Hunky Noodle a pet. Little snoozer here. All right, white ink pad. Now this is your traditional white, this is the old school white ink pad that I've had for probably 10 years. And what we're gonna do is dip into there, dip off. I'm gonna go on the back and see how much ink. Oh yeah, okay. So we're gonna dip off and then I'm gonna zoom in for this experience. Okay, so you guys, if you've never done this before, it's really cool doing white ink over the top of like a dark because it illuminates it. Oh, that's a lot yet, hang on. I went in thick. Lightly hover over the top. And as you run out of ink, you're gonna need to go get some more. Super cool. Okay, you can kind of see what's happening here. It's illuminating the definition of the embossing folder. Okay. If you go too dark, it's too bad. You can't really get it off. But isn't that cool what that does? It details the lines. Very cool. So you can add color, but you can't take it away. All right. So that's the old style ink pad, the craft white. It's still available, but now the pad looks like that, right? Wunderbar. We have this butterfly going right there, and I'll use up some of these guys now. You gotta be careful not to put the dimensionals where it's gonna be hanging off the edge. Probably would be fine like that. Perfect. So add an angle. Maybe like that, that's good. Okay, and then we get this thing ready to go. Gotta be careful not to put the dimensionals too close to the edge as well. Glad it's getting used. Okay, well, Honey's not on it right now, so I can show everybody what it looks like. So Mary Lemke made, I don't remember, Mary, when did you make this for me? 2 years ago, I'd have to guess. So she made me what she said is the biggest card she's ever made in her life, I think. And Mary likes to make things in all different crafting facets, I guess you could say. And so she made me like a blanket, I guess you could say. It's a blanket. And gems. You need butterfly, butterfly, butterfly. And we've got another one in the books. Very good. Okay. So I'm going to bring them all in. And I'm going to show you. I'm going to bring in the ones with the gems on them. Just so you can. Oh, no, I'm not. They're already stacked somewhere else. Okay. We're not. We're going to bring in the ones without the gems. Because all the other ones are like piled on with all the other cards. Okay, so let's pull it. This is what we did. We started at about 10 o'clock and we got through making one of each of the 6 cards. And you guys still need to go back and make, this is a 4, that one's 4, this one's 4, that's 4, this one is 4, this one is 4, and then this one is 2. So you'll make 22 total cards by the time you're done with this class, all right? So that's the goal. Hopefully you enjoy it and then it's not too stressful for you. And I'm going to show you really quick while you tell me what your favorite ones are. Mary doesn't remember. Okay, so let me pull this up. So this is what Mary made for me. And it's a fun fold card too. Let me tell you this. Hang on, let me put this. This goes like this. Let me get it put together. And then I'll show you how it works. I don't know if I ever showed this. I think I showed it off when I first got it, Mary, but I haven't showed it off recently. So it's a card made out of fleece, okay? So this is how big it is, right? So that's the big, and it says, sending sunshine, love, and big hugs, right? So that's what it says, right? And it's a fun fold. So this side opens like this, and this side opens like this. And it says, Merry Christmas and Happy Birthday. And so she made the inside out of white, like a white piece of paper, right? And so like this now folds like this. And this side folds like this. And then what I do is I fold, and she's got gems on it, you guys. She put embellishments. She puts rhinestones on here, and she added ribbon to it, like that. Like the lamb technique is what she said she tried to do. She's got 3 gems on it, you guys, right? 1 down here, and then 2 up here. So what I do, I fold it like this, and I put it like this, and I leave it right like that for Honey to have for her purple blankie. So awesome. Okay, so here we are. I'm not sure. Bummer just got notified. Oh, Lisa's Basic. It's okay. You can catch the replay. We had lots of fun making these 6 cards. Brent says they're all beautiful. So I don't have any kits left at this moment. I have to check through my emails to figure out if I missed signing anybody up for a class. And then once I go through that, I'll know if I have any left. And I had a couple people reach out to me, and that's how that goes. So I've learned, you guys, to keep a little baby shot glass cup next to me. I should take this one downstairs. And then I put all my little scraps in there so they're not all over loose, and then I can throw that away really easily. Okay, so, well, actually I put one right there, and I'll put one back over here. All right, we did it. Oh, we did it. Okay, I gotta grab my purple folder, and we're gonna do a drawing really quick. Figure out who is the attendance prize winner. So, you guys, what you have left of your pack of wine pack of designer paper, you have this sheet left, right? So you can make more cards with this, and this is what you have left. Out of all the scraps you have from a full pack of designer paper, this is what you have left. So this is a great for a card mat, envelope flaps, all of these. These are envelope flap size right now. These are envelope flap worthy, right? That would go on those 4 cards, I think. And then you could easily, Sandy had said, you could put these as envelope flaps if you wanted on 2 of the cards. And then you have this sheet left. You could utilize that for envelope flaps for this card and the other card, right? So you almost consume the entire pack of designer paper, but by the time you decorate 22 envelopes, I bet this is almost gone. So it was a great use of like a whole pack of designer paper. Oh my goodness. Well, I'm glad you liked it, Kim. Cat. Whereas Yvette said they're all beautiful. Lori says very cute blanket. Mary Lemke, yay. They're all so pretty. Your blanket card is very pretty. Okay, very good. Let me just pull this up really quick. All right, so we have 52. Okay, so I'm going to have to use my phone to do this because I usually use this phone to do it. So 52, we're going to put in 52 for the number generator. And I'm going to hit generate. 17 is Kelly Gibson. I'm going to do a second one. Number 23 is Doris Munson. Awesome. So Kelly Gibson and Doris Munson. I will have door prizes for you guys. Yay. They'll get mailed out in your next class that is going out in June probably. Okay. So just to recap, it is Memorial Day weekend, not Labor Day weekend. So, but most of us, if you're in the corporate business world or The world that works 8 to 5, you usually have off on Memorial Day. I know restaurants and hotels and other businesses don't always have off, but hopefully you get some time for yourself this weekend to do what you want to do. And I won't be live now again, I guess, until I think Thursday night. I have ink, paper, scissors on Thursday night. And then also, though, at some point, I'm sneaking in a showcase. My goal is there are 4 classes for me to design with and without Diane. And then Rose has a class. I think Rose is trying to get hers done this weekend too. And so my goal is for the showcase to show off the 5 core classes that we have in June. And then I'll show off all of the Palooza cards again. And I'll show off Stampin' Find the Sun again in case there's any spots left. We're getting down to less than 10 spots for the Stampin' Find the Sun. And the Palooza, there was like 26. And if you want to see, if you're dying to see the Palooza cards, just go to my video from last night. I had the sweet class with botanical textures, and I showed them off in the first half hour. At some point, after I showed off some cards, I showed off those cards. So in case you want to see all 21 cards, they're out there. And yeah, designing, that's what, designing and getting back to people in classes, like that is on my radar, as well as planting flowers so they don't die. So that's on the radar. All right, so I don't know, let me go back to the comments and see if I missed anything. I always like to see if anybody asked anything at the end. Yeah, it was you guys, I started class at 10, it's 1:30, so it's been 3.5 hours. So not my longest class ever. I think 4 hours was my longest class ever, but this, I know these Stampin' Stacks take a long time. And there were, with fun folds and then cutting your own designer paper and then all the coloring on top of it, it was crazy. And this whole time, Hunky Noodle's been just sleeping over there, just snoozing away in my other chair. Okay, all right, I think we're gonna call it. I think we're good. I don't see any other questions. If I miss any questions, you guys, you can always reach out to me and ask me in a message. I'll get back to you. I don't generally look, I try to watch all the comments, but if I miss anything, it's because a few come in at the same time. But you can always reach out to me and I'll try to answer anything I can via email. So, or text, or call, or Facebook message, all the above. So you guys, all right, lots of sunshine, love, and big hugs to you guys. Enjoy the rest of your weekend ahead of you, and we'll see you next week. Love ya. Bye.